Hello, welcome to another week of SDS. And once again, it's been a good week/weekend of football. A lot has happened, so we're going to discuss it. It is time for the Premier League Roundup, and I'm not going to lie, that's looking like the fan favourite at the moment. They're long episodes, but they love it. Thanks. People are commenting saying this took me too, they watch it in segments and they love it. It's so sick. But we're back to the Premier League Roundup every single week as usual. Let me introduce the cast to you. Next to me,
it's been a while.
A familiar face.
Been a while, man.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be
Good
back.
to be back.
I feel the Power Taylor sitting there for 3 weeks. So what's going on?
You got your chain back, man.
Had to, man. Had to.
Welcome back. I took your chain back 4 weeks in a row. I feel like the man.
It feels good, right?
Yeah, it's good experience.
Had a shit pop. I had to take it back.
And then opposite him, we have the meme machine. That's your new name, man.
Actually, I go by a different name now.
What's your name now?
I go by Champion. Carabao Champion.
Oh.
I'm back. 6 years in the waiting. I'm back. Champion Lias. Thank you.
Champion, is that your name?
Yes, sir.
Champion Lias is here, guys. And next to him, we have the return of Fuad.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Appreciate it.
The thing is, you've been here twice now, and both times have been after a big result. After you beat City and you beat Chelsea.
And you know what they do? They ask you before because they think you're going to lose.
I saw the invite came on the Friday. I was like, this is a setup, So as soon as we pulled through, I was like, hey, I'm looking forward to this tomorrow, boy. We're cooking.
We need meltdowns. We're still yet to experience the Fuad meltdown, but welcome back, Fuad. Welcome back.
Good to be here.
So yeah, we're doing a Premier League roundup. As usual, you guys can get involved in the comments. Let us know everything about your teams. Once again, we're still looking for researchers. We didn't really get much people sign up to the job, but make sure you message us if you want to be part of the research team. If you support a team that's obscure in the Premier League, which might be hard for us to get info about, like Bournemouths and maybe even the Brentfords and all those kind of teams, and you want us to say specific things about your team, so we might just gloss over it sometimes because so many games we have to cover, feel free to DM us on Twitter and send him a little bit of match report or some pointers that you want us to mention, because obviously you guys are the producers of the show. And make sure you hit like and subscribe. This is the stats right now of how many of you guys are watching but not subscribed. It's getting better. But obviously,
gradually,
we want it to be 100%, as close to 100% of you that are watching are subscribed. So we'll get there. But let's get into it right now. I know this is a PL roundup, but we're going to start off briefly on the Carabao Cup final. We do stuff like that here. It's two Premier League teams, so might as well talk about it.
Please do.
Carabao, yeah.
I'm in a good mood today.
We will. Champion Lias.
Yes, sir.
We'll go to you. Carabao Cup final, Man United, Newcastle. How do you feel about that, first of all? You seem clearly very happy about that.
Feels good to be the king, man. Honestly, I feel like this has been a long time in the coming. A long time in the making. Okay. 6 years. 6 long years.
In the coming. That's what's going on there.
Is that a new
guys already wanted to...
Don't start.
Let the episode go on.
It's been a long time in the making, man. 6 years. I think the stat was 2,104 days. Jeez, crazy. And for a club like United, silverware is the bare minimum. So the last 5-6 years have been a disgrace, quite frankly. And I know a lot of people the last few years with Oli and with Ranić were saying, well, look at the progress on the pitch. That, in a way, is almost better than the trophy because it indicates which direction you're going in. But I've always said that for me, progress without those trophies along the way, as almost like benchmarks, as almost like staples, what does it lead to? I always bring this guy up because look, you had that Spurs team, right? That were so good. That Spurs team were excellent.
Straight.
No, but I think it's valid, right? That Spurs team were really, really good.
Pochettino,
yeah,
right?
2 years they finished second, or I think it was 2 years. No, 1 year. Okay, third, and then second. But they were great teams. They claimed big scalps. They went to the Champions League final, but in 10 years, no one's gonna remember that team, bar Spurs fans. It's the reality of the situation. So for me, success without silverware is pointless. Silverware is the currency of football. So for Ten Hag in 6 months. To win silverware of a team that 3 games in the season were bottom of the league. Last year had their worst season in Premier League history. You looked at some of these players and said, are they even good enough to be playing at mid-table clubs? He has basically, for me, upped the level of almost every single player at this team. He's reinstated a new culture at Man United, which I think might have been even more important than the results. Reinstating a new culture that winning is the most important thing, bar none. And this trophy, for me, is just, it symbolizes all the progress he's made. And for me, they asked me on Stoppage yesterday, they said, what does this ultimately mean? I say it's basically like vindicating his work now, because now he can go to the board in the summer and say, look, I just got you your first trophy in 6 years. Continue backing me, continue giving me the funds, continue getting my players, and we can go even higher and higher and higher. And I think under Ten Hag, seriously, if we continue backing this guy with his players, I think we can challenge for the league next season. And I think we can win a league in the next 3 years.
I think the conviction that guy talks with as well, bruv. Even today, I think after the final, he dropped a letter to United fans to let them know, like, yo, this is just a taster. Don't worry, I understand what it means to win at this club. And I'm like, bro, literally, he's giving it I'm like, bro, the way he talks and carries himself though with that conviction. I said in the summer, like, the biggest thing he's gonna have is changing the culture, and I think Arteta went through that at Arsenal. Like, when a club has been almost like a banter club for a certain number of years, and the Pogba, Lingard handshake years is what United were for the last 3-4 years. He's come in and he's brought in certain characters, Casemiro, Lisandro, even Anthony, I'll be honest with you. Like, there's certain attitude these men play with, fighting for every ball, every tackle. They're celebrating everything. You're like, these men might be cooking a little.
I wouldn't even say just them, too. You look at other players like Luke Shaw, you look at players like Rashford, and their mentality has changed. Like, these guys, I don't want to say we're kind of like running amok, like just basically doing what they wanted the last few years, but there wasn't the same pressure on them, the same expectation, the same, again, culture instated on them that, yo, it's not good enough to just have a few good games in a row now or score against some big teams.
Do you know what the crazy thing is? This is what Ronaldo wanted.
This
is what Ronaldo wanted, literally.
He got what he wanted, but he's not part of it.
The craziest thing is he's had to remove Ronaldo, who was affecting the team becoming that, because he was making obviously so Ronaldo-centric. Like, some of the obstacles he's had to face, even like dropping your captain. Harry Maguire.
Bro, huge
like
decision.
The first, what was it, 3-4 games?
No, after 2 games, he said, yo, you're out.
He said, listen, Varane, I need you now. And you look at Varane, he's gone up a massive level this year as well. Some of the players he's actually improved. You look at Dalot, you look at Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw. Fred even. So it's like, on every club of what you want from a manager, I swear to you, I said to him like last week, every day I grow more envious that we turned him away and he just walked into their laps, bro.
You know what Spurs said to him in the summer when they tried hiring him, or like last summer, he doesn't have enough charisma for the job.
Didn't they interview him, right? Yeah.
This man doesn't have charisma.
Instead, they went for Conte, by the way, the king of charisma, by the way.
I respect it, because like this team's already unrecognizable from the team that played
completely
Brentford this season and got smoked, you know? Like, I can't believe it. And Ronaldo was at United just this season. Like, and it was, everything was like going down.
Some people told me like
it's the same season, by the way. I can't believe it.
Exactly. Some people told me like, I actually thought these games were from last season. That's how far away it feels now.
Like it. That's how much things have changed. Maybe the World Cup has done that, where it feels like it's 2 different seasons. But I can't believe the United I'm seeing now compared to the United that was just earlier this season.
I don't like it.
I'm sure you don't. Tell me why you don't like it.
I'm sure you don't.
I hope you wouldn't like it.
Honestly, I don't love it either, because it's like, I thought, we're the team now that's like taking Liverpool's spot, because Liverpool's falling out. City stay there. It's Arsenal and City now, but United are also doing it as well.
I don't know what it is with them, you know. Like,
they're annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like you play good football in spurts. It's like you're a combination of Ole, ball with possession, if that makes sense. You got that counter attack, and then.
But in Ten Hag's defense, this is half of an Ole team mixed with half of a Ten Hag team. And I think also that's what's brilliant about Ten Hag, right? I think people saw him come in and they saw Pep's assistant and the guy's ball, and you saw the football he played at Ajax. I'll be real, that's how football Twitter thinks sometimes. No disrespect to you guys. Oh, he just must be a Pep regen, and he likes to play tiki-taka, and he's shown that he's a very tactically flexible coach in terms of his end result is not, I want to play a style of football no matter what. I want to win no matter what. And whether that means me sitting my defensive line 10 yards deeper, whether it means me playing on the counterattack, it doesn't matter for him. Whatever I need to do to win games, I will do it.
The one thing I do give him credit for, I think he's the best in the Premier League as in his in-game substitutions.
Yes.
He wins games because of that.
Yeah, the Barca game as well. You were at
so many games. You change it up, and I'm like, why is Weghorst moved to the 10? And it's just like, it's worked. You think what's going on?
Yesterday, was it just bringing Rashford off to get on Maguire? He saw it was like last 20 minutes. It was backs to the ball. He said, you know what? I ain't got time for this keep possession stuff. Let's just backs to the wall job type of thing. So,
but let's talk about the game specifically. That game itself. Casemiro and Varane. That's a 14th trophy they've won together, by the way.
It's insane.
Yeah, you see that Casemiro quote?
What was the quote?
It was something. I don't know what it's called. It's like United Devils or Central United or something. He was talking about Casemiro's quote was like him saying, "This is probably the best trophy. I've won so many trophies, but this trophy means the most to me."
Oh, no, I don't think you said that. No, I don't think you said that.
What are you talking about?
Nah, that ain't it. I don't think you said that to me. I think it's like this one feels different or something like that, which is still corny. I mean, you won a Copa America,
he scored in the Champions League final.
Yeah, you got to show that.
I was like, come on, bro, Carabao Cup. And I've got tears in my eyes. I'm thinking, what's going on?
But Casemiro knows how to get the fans on his side, bro. There's that one quote when he came to the club or when he was about to go to the club, he's like, "Tell them I'm going to fix this," or something.
4-0 down. I got you, boys.
That's hard, bro.
But so you guys won 2-0. I'm not gonna. The game wasn't even that great, but watch for a neutral. I didn't really enjoy that game. I didn't think it was great. I mean, it was like the game was kind of dead and buried from pretty early.
The only highlight for me was the St. Maximin skill on Dalot.
And then
I can't remember my seat. Said Jesus.
Yeah, you sent him one way, I went the other way. But hey, the 10x substitutions, you bring that up. He brings AWB in. We ain't see shit from St. Maximin the rest of the game.
He made more tackles than any other player in that game.
Yo, 1v1.
He didn't get jump past once.
No one wants that work, bro. Wan-Bissaka, as many flaws as he has in his game, especially offensively, he is the best recovery defender I maybe have ever seen, bro. The guy's 1v1 recovery defense is insane. You beat him, and you think you're clear, and you have a shot, and then out of nowhere, this long-ass leg comes out of nowhere to just stop it, bro.
A prime example was against Palace this season. Wilfred Zaha, I think, and then Wan-Bissaka made that last tackle in the box. I can't believe that. He's like an octopus. You know?
Recovery tackle.
I think they call him like a spider or something.
Spider, yeah.
Like you can see it, but it's ridiculous. So this is about the game. Casemiro scores the first goal, header.
What do I keep telling y'all about Casemiro, bro?
He scores big goals.
It's Casse at Real Madrid. It's Miro at Man United. It's I keep telling y'all every podcast. It's true, bro. It's true. The Casse at Real Madrid, he pops up with the odd goal, right? He had the Champions League final goal, but he's a hard man. He's a defensive midfielder. He breaks up the play, give it to Luka. Miro is a totally different cat, bro.
Box to box.
Box to box, controlling all phases of the game, popping up with goals consistently, winning United games, both defensively and offense. It's a different guy.
He even scored a good goal in the World Cup this year as well.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
there you go,
goals
bro.
now, which I'm like, where's
that's not that's Casse at Madrid. That's Faisal's guy.
Yeah.
Miro here.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a problem, bro.
And then Karius for the second goal. I feel bad for him, man.
Do you think it's his fault though? I saw some people saying it's his.
I don't think it's his fault, but because it's Karius and of his reputation, it's now seen as like, Karius made another mistake.
Yeah, I think he can walk away with his head held.
I think so too.
I thought
he came with them retro gloves as well.
Yeah, I thought he came in, he did his job to the best he could. Newcastle were just one of them ones. I feel like, listen, they played well on the day. I think they dominated possession. And they had United kind of playing a backs to the wall job. But listen, this is your first final. I think they're way ahead of projects as well. It's only been 1 year into the takeover. I think the important thing for Newcastle now is to not let this derail the rest of their season. Coming into this, I think the last 4 or 5 games, they were drawing, losing. Downward slide, low key. So now they need to get back on their horse because Europa League, if they finish with that, and a Carabao final, that's still a good season in my opinion.
This is the first full season since the takeover.
100%. And you look at even their January, they didn't really act like a Saudi.
Did they buy anyone?
It was a bit of a missed opportunity in my opinion. They even let Shelby go, so now midfield
Chris Wood even went.
Chris Wood, they left, they didn't replace him. So I think if they don't fall off now, that will be a major plus for them. They need to focus on that.
I think with them, it's just a question of quality, to be honest with you. Like, you saw Almir, I was calling it mixed sanity, bro. But like the first half of the season, it really was that weird. No, that's what I'm saying. But I think he's just kind of fallen back to his average level. Man, bro. He was playing completely out of his skin. I think a lot of guys on Newcastle were the first season. Like I think, the first half of the season, excuse me. So I think the next step for them is they have all this money. They need to start. I'm not buying Galacticos. I'm not saying that. I think the way they've done business for the most part is actually good, signing guys like Bruno G, Isaac. But I think they need to continue making those signings because there's still guys that are still left from the previous regime that I think they need to move on from.
I think they just re-signed him to a new deal as well, Almiron.
Almiron,
like 2 years, I think.
Fairs.
I get it. They'll be playing Europe next season, so I'm sure they'll make it some good
bigger squad as well.
Players. Before we move on to the Premier League, that's 1 out of 4 trophies now this season for United. Anymore?
Stop.
Do you guys ever watch like the MCU movies where he's like 1 down, 3 to go?
Anymore?
Of course. Yeah? You think this is the only one we're winning this year? Got Europa League. Coming for you guys. Yeah. We got the FA Cup. We coming for you guys. The Prem.
Let us leave it something.
Prem is still top 4 in the trophies. Prem ain't concerned about that.
Far behind.
Ask me the percentage question.
Oh yeah. You're the percent. Now we got to ask
I want the percentage question.
So what's your percentage now for winning the Premier League?
15%.
That's too high, man.
Too high.
That's way too high, man.
Some might argue it's too low. 15%. That's not that much.
How far are you from us? 5 points, and we have
8, and we're level. 15%, I think, is fine, bro. So what is it? 75% that we have to. Not 75. 85%.
Twice.
It'll be 11 by Wednesday.
Oh no, hold on, 11. No, 11. Then you guys will have a game in hand. Because right now we're level on point. We're level on games.
Yeah, no, we'll get a game forward. Yeah.
Well, but you got Liverpool, is not that much,
Liverpool away.
I think.
Gakpo,
What do you want me to say?
2 goals.
I don't think we're gonna win the league, but 15% is not that much, bro.
Okay, but
For me, it's too high, man.
if you lose against if you lose to Liverpool on Sunday and then we beat
Then it'll
Everton,
go down by a lot. Yeah. That's how it works. But right now, 15%. Yeah, of course. He knows the game, bro. He went from 85 to like 47 within a week.
in a week, bro. In a week.
Nah, I remember I was outside telling people like, that's not bad, man.
There you go.
There was that period I thought, yeah, we lost the league.
I'm on a good high right now, so 15%. I'm happy with that. Next week we could be 2.7%.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
All right, let's go over to the big fixture of the weekend.
Yes.
Spurs versus Chelsea.
Come on, the
Your
Chelsea.
stadium's looking like a fortress.
Listen,
Yeah.
so far, I don't know. This year it's looking decent, but
I want to beat them.
I got to give.
Yeah, I mean, not for it wasn't hard for us.
Yeah,
but-
it wasn't hard for us, but yeah.
Listen, Chelsea. I feel like at the moment they're handing out 3 points.
Yeah.
I feel like you can't.
Oh yeah.
I can't
play
wait to play
them
them.
and almost not win.
Same. They're coming Emirates still.
Yeah. They need to come Old Trafford too.
Literally, I thought if we can't beat Graham Potter and Chelsea right now, brother,
Yeah, that's a problem.
and we are arguably, I would say, the most inconsistent side in the Premier League. You don't know what Spurs are going to turn up week to week, what Son is going to turn up, what Kane is going to turn up. I mean, Romero. But that game for me felt like a London derby. I felt like from minute 1 to minute 90, we dominated them. I felt like Chelsea didn't get out of second gear. And then I think individually, and I think tactically, even the way we played, I got to give Stellini some credit. I don't know.
I think you got to give him a lot. You got to give him a lot of credit.
Can you? This
You
guy,
need to give him a lot of credit.
This is my Tottenham segment.
Yeah,
It's my
yeah.
turn. It's my turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, you got to give Stellini credit though, because what is it? 4 wins out of 4 now. I think he's got
Yeah,
100%
he's flying.
record. And the second half, I thought the first half was a snooze fest, but the second half, I was seeing patterns of play. I ain't seen that since last year. Conte was here, and it always seems like when Conte's away,
Somebody's the hardest part.
there's
Nice
like a
play,
little bit
bro.
of, you know. The boss isn't here. It's like when you got a supply teacher, you know, you could play around a little bit. The guy's got a little bit more freedom. So I'm like, listen, if that's what it's going to bring, Conte, go enjoy the Napoli games. Go enjoy the coastal trips to the Italian. Recover.
Oh, so now you feel the same way that I've been telling you the last week.
This
what
guy-
did I say?
this guy wants Conte dead.
I came. There's a difference. Don't do that. There's a difference. Hey, recovery, not speedy recovery, but recover. What did I say on this pod like a few weeks ago when you were here? When Conte is gone, the shackles are off. You literally just agreed with me, bro. He didn't want to agree, but it's true.
no.
The
The
last
thing is
5 games, Spurs have won 3 games and lost 2. The 2 losses came when Conte was there. The 3 wins came when Stellini was in charge, bro.
Listen,
you talked about the patterns of play, the free flowing. He dropped Son, which Conte
The
hasn't had the balls
foundations
to do.
are still what Conte is, though. That's the thing.
Look,
It's
man.
for me, it's like Stellini's still not his own man. I can't give him credit for work. He's just, he's putting tracing paper on top and just throwing a few extra lines. Nah, bro.
He's
come
got
on,
better
man.
tracing skills than
But
Conte, bro.
That plan there, I felt like in the second half, we came out way more on the attack. I felt like Richarlison set the tempo up front, Kane linking up play. And then there's one man in that team I got to give credit to as well. I think last time I was here, Emerson.
That's
gave
the
him-
bad.
He says his name now. It's not number 12 anymore.
He's got his name back.
No, he's got his name back.
Oh,
You got your chain
wow.
back. Listen, I got to put some respect on
You
it
have
because
to. I mean, let's be
I'm
honest.
seeing a bit of consistency. It's big games as well. And I'm not saying now I'm all in. Hey, go team Emerson. But you got to give man a credit when it's due. And that was
Thanks.
a big performance. I was seeing touches. I was seeing 1v1 take-ons. The end product is still lacking a little bit, but defensively, he's been shut down for the last 3 games. So, listen, well played.
He
I-
seems
and
like
I
that
felt
kind of player that everyone wants, like your fans want to see do well.
I can't lie to you. I was at the stadium in the game. The fans love him.
Yeah,
He's amazing,
It's like
man.
a charity case.
I like him a lot.
I say it's like a charity case. When
It's-
he scored, like even the last game,
It's like I'm sure United fans and Arsenal fans go through where online it seems like everyone hates him, but then in
Yeah,
the stadium it's
so
a whole
different.
different feeling.
Yeah.
And he's had a lot of criticism for the last 18 months, and I feel like rightly so. But the last 3 weeks since Pedro Porro has come in, it's like lit a fire under his arse, and it's like, all right, cool. Now you've given us this bit of consistency, and you've given us a taste. Give us the full load. We want this for a whole season. We want it. Is this the permanent Emerson, or is this just a little purple patch? Because
It's
we've
true.
seen Ben Davies do this. We've seen Lamella do this. We've seen Mora do this.
Doherty's done stuff like that.
Doherty
Had, like,
does
patches
shit
like-
like that. Last year he did
Yeah,
that. They were
yeah.
calling him Doherty Maradona. I can't remember. They were putting Maradona pictures with Doherty's face on it. That's all I know. It was nuts, bro.
were you part of that?
Hell no. I'm not part of any of that. I downplay. I'm like, please don't affiliate me with that. But this is nice, but let's have some consistency. That's why
I feel like Emerson is one of those players. Every club has one where it's like he's not that good, right? In fact, at times he's absolutely awful. But you can never fault his effort. Like you can never fault his work rate. And like, it wasn't he the guy who like did the training regime over the summer? He paid like bread to
a million.
a million.
He went into a LeBron James program. and came out like, I don't even know, bruv. Some D1, D2 player, bruv. That guy had no improvements. But the last couple of weeks, you got to give him his credit. But I think that's Pedro Porro walking in.
Yeah, for sure.
That's giving him that
Oh,
moment.
yeah, for sure. We talk about Chelsea, though, Stars. What 2 wins out of the last 16 games in all competitions? That is ridiculous. That's bad for a team that's in the relegation zone, let alone Chelsea. What do you think the problem is? Do you think it's Potter now? Do you think it's like the players? Do you think it's... I actually don't know what it is.
I think they just ass, man. They're just dead.
But they got players there, bro. They got superstar potential players there. And they're Chelsea as well.
No, I think it's more of the players don't believe in Potter whatsoever. When they come into training and all that stuff, you can tell body language is they don't really care. Have you seen that video of them in the tunnel before they came coming out? Stamford Bridge.
Bro, it's shoulders down. They don't look interested whatsoever. Yeah.
And like bare of those players, it's probably like the first time to play with each other and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can tell that. I'm just like, I don't know what it is, man.
No
like
vibe, no chemistry, nothing. Yeah.
And Potter as well. I think with him, he deserves time, but I feel like it's Chelsea's too big of a step.
Does he deserve time, really? Because like, I think the only reason you would give him time is just giving him the benefit of the doubt because of what he did at Brighton. Because what we've seen at Chelsea, there is nothing tangible that you can say, I've seen improvement in Chelsea under him. There's absolutely nothing. There's no signs. Yeah. There's no early like patterns of play that you can see. There's not a single player under him that's really improved whatsoever. It's gone down since Tuchel was there. In fact, I think the only reason they're not in a relegation battle is because of the wins that Tuchel got early in the season, bro. It's the reality of the situation. I like Graham Potter. I keep saying it. Like, I think he's a good manager. But this job that he's done at Chelsea so far is awful. It's absolutely awful what he's done. And I keep saying I think he's going to be given next season. But the way it's going, bro, they're going. They're only going down.
You know what? In this aspect, I feel for him. It's the fact that obviously he didn't have a preseason. He's playing with a team that the squad's too big. Where like you don't know who. I remember I was reading something now where he was talking about when he prepares for training and all that stuff. He's got such a big team. You don't know. Like there's players obviously you don't want to trade.
Yeah,
but they have to be involved.
But
so
at the same time, right? Like he had that excuse about Arteta, which I thought for me was
no. I hate that. I hate those kind of stuff.
But even if you want to like take that on face value. Arteta was also a manager who came in midway through a season. Yep. And again, you guys finished 8th that year, but you won the FA Cup. And I could see from the start, even though I wasn't 100% on board with him, I still thought he had flaws. You could still see tangible improvement almost from the first game, bro. Yeah. Potter has done nothing of that ilk, and he had better players to begin with and got better players in January. So I think him bringing up Arteta for me is cheeky.
You know what's even worse? It was Arteta's first ever coaching job. How are you comparing that?
Potter's already managed in the
league. I think another thing as well is the way he talks and carries himself as well. I think earlier on we were talking about like Ten Hag. I think Arteta, you saw when he came in, he was talking with a certain tone, and people are like, "Why is he so arrogant? It's his first job."
It's
and
conviction.
It's conviction. You have to talk with that because when it's early on, you're almost. It's the first impression with these players. A lot of these players are walking in. You have to kind of set that authority. I feel like every time when man's walking into, just come from a crisis. I'm like, bro, you're not really serious. And it always feels like you're almost like a Make-A-Wish kid who's just happy to be at the job.
It's like you won like a...
Man's wearing suits all of a sudden. He's getting skin fades. You can tell he's just grateful to be here. Like, oh, I'm happy to be...
And he's with people as well that... He's with people as well that won Champions League, that's won Premier League.
World Cup winners.
They look down at him.
And then you look at the players aspect. I think the players, you've got a lot of young players there. And previously Chelsea, they always had a spine or a core of experienced winners throughout the last 20 years. You look at that Chelsea team now, they've got the Champions League, but you could say many a times Chelsea fans will say, that papered over the cracks, our squad wasn't all that or whatever. Who are the leaders in that team right now?
Thiago Silva
and an agent Aspi.
Yeah.
Outside of that, basically, of all the new crop, which is going to be the future, who are the real carriers? Who are the real characters, personalities? Like the Casemiros, Leeches that we're saying. Those guys who are going to come. Zinchenko, who's coming at your club. Those kind of guys who are going to drive the dressing room. I don't feel like Chelsea, or they've stood up at the minute, if you like. So you're looking at squad issues. The coach not being able to carry himself, and Cam made an interesting point on the pod with the fans, Chelsea fans.
Oh yeah,
are they scared to question Bowley? And I was like, because Bowley spent a lot of money. Has that money been spent correctly in the sense of it's been like a football manager? It's all ridiculous. Under 23s, no senior players, no real winners, and then also you sack Tuchel. So that's on. So this Graham Potter mess is on you.
Sure.
So everything that's going wrong at Chelsea leads back to Bowley, but I have not seen one word of criticism.
I'm just hearing Graham Potter out. That's what I'm
Graham
hearing.
Potter
you're right
out.
as well, 'cause
I'm hearing players out. I'm hearing, yo, what's going on?
Out, all that stuff, yeah.
Mount out. You see it.
But the reason why they're not getting onto Bowley is because they're just seeing him spend money.
Yeah.
They're like, if he's spending money, surely he's doing the right thing.
So
Like,
that's it. It's just
but
money to keep
But that's
quiet.
that's what fans are clouded by. They're like, I can't be angry at him. He's giving us money to spend.
And then-
Can't be
and
angry at him. He's giving us Enzo Fernandez and he's
And
giving
for
us
them, it's
Mudryk.
easy, for fans, it's always easier to blame one manager than it is to blame 22, 23 players. It's always been like that.
Yeah.
So
My thing is you don't want to get into the thing where it's like United fans were for the last 10 years, where they saw the Glazers spend $1 billion, if you like, but it was mismanaged money. It was misspent money. Like Chelsea do not want to be going where 3 years down the line, they've spent $1 billion.
Yeah.
Their squad is nowhere near better to titles. Like the last title they won was 2017. Chelsea want to get back to that within the next 2 years. I don't know if Graham Potter or the way Bowley's running this at the minute, because even with the Potter situation, you've entrenched yourself so deep into it. You've recruited the entire Brighton backroom team. So it's like you're all in on this guy. So it really has to work for them.
But that's why they haven't sacked him yet. That's
course.
why they're,
You know
like,
what's
they're
good?
praying
Yeah.
it becomes right.
That's why he's using the Arteta reference.
Exactly, man. Bowley even loves the Arteta reference, and I'm like,
They're grasping
not every
for
They
team,
use
not,
Arteta as like a
not
reference
every
point now.
Like not every team's like that.
Bro,
You gotta have the
Arteta-
perfect manager for. Like you guys got Eric Ten Hag, we've got Arteta.
Arteta for me is the exception and not the rule, bro. Like
Yeah.
for a manager to go 2 years eighth and then all of a sudden, well, I don't want to say all of a sudden because I think there was gradual improvement, but then eighth 1 year and then 3 years later to be challenging for the league, it doesn't happen at every single club. It doesn't happen for every single manager. You don't. Every manager that you give 3 years to, it doesn't end up like the way it has for Arteta. So for me, using the Arteta excuse for me is just grasping at straws at this point because there's no tangible evidence to suggest this is anything like an Arteta situation.
Not at all. Not at all. But
That game though, they made it easier for us. I won't even lie. Come on.
yeah. It looked easy. It looked easy. And big shout out to Christian Romero as well. I mean, he had a
Listen,
very good game.
I can't lie to you. I said this season he hasn't covered himself in much glory.
He stink.
That
He
was one of
stinking
the
this season.
first. And I've said in the big games, I'm looking at him especially. This was one of those games I looked at. He was solid. I gotta say, the entire back three was solid, and even Forster behind him.
Yeah.
He pulled off a couple of decent saves. I was like, bro.
Forster's got that in his game. Remember Forster at Southampton against Arsenal?
But this was like
You know
4
how
or 5
jarring he
years
was?
ago. I
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
like. And over the last 2-3 years, he's literally aged 15
Oh,
years.
yeah, he looks
and I'm
so
like, bro, what's happened to you? I'm like,
But I'm happy we're not playing you guys because even at this age now,
capable of that still.
Forster gives me nightmares. If we're playing Tottenham, let's say in the next couple of weeks,
and I've
I'll be
got to give a
terrified.
special shout out as well to Skip.
Yes, I was going to
Big performance. Big performance. Big goal as well. And I think Bentancur's a big miss as well.
Tore his ACL in it.
Bro, 7-8 months. That guy might not be the same again. You were a special player.
Nah,
for
he
the
was
last
incredible.
Year, man.
I'm not gonna say Phase 1, man.
Listen,
What's Faisal say about Bentancur?
When he
His ass,
first
bro.
signed for Tottenham, we did a transfer video, like rating transfer windows, and he said, Bentancur, I know Bentancur, I've seen him at Juventus. He's horrible. He's not great.
fans have said he's crap.
Fans-
No, no.
And
Do you know what it is?
we drank it up. We thought, Faisal watches other leagues, so he couldn't be any more wrong.
he was a casual.
You're a casual.
Yeah, he's a casual.
Oh man, you're a casual.
He's a casual, bro.
But no, Skip, I thought incredible goal as well. Like I thought Kepa should have done a little bit better.
Yeah.
Someone parried it, innit? As in Kepa parried it, did Koulibaly just boot it out?
Nah, it
For
came
the
with
goal.
Enzo clearance.
Yeah.
They don't want to speak on
Yeah,
that.
hey, and Zonzi.
Yeah,
Bro, like,
Enzonzi, bro.
I didn't have a conversation about these Chelsea, man. These players.
Mudryk, what's going
120.
on, Mudryk?
He's close to being 007, innit?
Yeah, man.
One game off 007.
007 thing is killing me. People are waiting. They're like,
One more
play
game.
7 games,
Gakpo was
please.
so close.
Yeah.
Life of the Mudryk, bro. Filthy in every way.
Listen.
But yeah, no, that was a great win for Spurs. That now keeps you in the fourth spot. Chelsea.
Do you think you guys will get it?
Chelsea are
Depends on Conte's health, to be honest. Stellini is there the whole season. Stellini is there.
I think as long as we've shown in previous years, whenever there's like a mishmash race, we always kind of get our way in there some way. I look at Newcastle. I don't know if they can.
They're
bounce
draw
back.
merchants. Like,
Yeah.
they've drawn like 13, 14
And
games.
then
innit?
Liverpool, I think maybe are
don't know
the
if-
only challenges because
We'll even talk
That
about
Champions League defeat sucked the soul out of them, and then the weekend, what happened in the draw as well. I don't know if they can do that, stringing the 6-7 games
consistent run. I don't think they can either. That's the only thing.
How far behind are they from you?
They got 2 games on Spurs.
Yeah,
they got 2 games in
and
hand,
Newcastle got 1.
and they're 9 points behind them.
So if they win
So
both, it's
that's
6.
3
I
points
think this
behind.
weekend is big.
Can they win?
Or this next weekend is big. If they can beat United at Anfield,
Find out.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's the kind of result that can kickstart your season.
Exactly. And that's what kickstarted your season, beating Liverpool. that way
Exactly.
around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Spurs are now in 4th. Chelsea, one of only 2 teams in the whole league. I'm looking at the last This shows like last 5 games in the league. They haven't won a single game last 5 games.
And they're close to
They're
close to Southampton, right?
Then top.
Yeah.
Chelsea are
Did you see their goal of the season montage for February? It's just João Felix's goal against West Ham, and they're like best goal, best opener, best.
the same goal.
Yeah, it's the same one over and over.
Oh no! All right, let's move on to the next game. Let's go over to Saturday. And shall we talk about Arsenal? I think this is the latest in the video. We're speaking about Arsenal, the PR Roundup. We usually go Arsenal early.
They're fist pumping at home, bro.
Yeah, it's Arsenal time, guys. We went away to Leicester. Obviously, not easy to play against Leicester. Fuad knows.
Every door there's a straight behind it, brother. Continue.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie, Leicester weren't great. Like obviously,
they were ass, man.
They weren't great. For you XG fans, this Leicester registered their lowest XG in a game since XG was created.
Sharky does stats.
0.01 XG.
Nuts. Oh
that's
God.
like they've had that's nothing.
That's
they've had no
nasty
chances.
as
Now
well.
it's like a 1/2 chance. But yeah, Trossard. Let's talk about Trossard. Trossard started up front in that game. Played up front. Obviously, Nketiah didn't play that game.
Yeah. Well, Kate came on second half, innit? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jorginho started as well, innit?
Oh, baller, man.
Jorginho started. Before we get into the game on Trossard and stuff, Star Player said to me he has something to say about Jorginho because the last time he was here on the podcast, it was a transfer window roundup.
Okay.
And
That's what got me banned on it.
And yeah. And then
Arsenal fans got onto it.
that's why it's been on for a while. So obviously we ended the window of Jorginho and Trossard. Obviously, Jorginho was the final day one, and Stars was very vocal about how much he hated that signing and how much he wasn't a fan.
I despised that at the start.
He despised
I'm not
it.
gonna lie to you.
But he said to me like he has.
I was all in. I was like, all in on Caicedo at the time.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard the rumor of Jorginho, my head went. I said, yeah, whatever happens from here, I'm wilding out. And yeah, as soon as the transfer happened, I had to accept it.
Yeah.
I was like, I wasn't too upset with it. As soon as the transfer happened, we knew we weren't getting Caicedo. I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm happy. And then the game against, Man City? That's when I was like, we might have a player here. Because we don't win without Partey on the team, usually. And then what?
We
3
didn't win
games
that
in.
game against City.
No, but
And he lost against Everton with he came on and he can see it.
That was poetic.
Straight away.
The Everton one.
That was the easiest layup I've ever gotten in my life, bro.
bad-minded
They
for
threw
that,
that shit up to me. I was like,
You're bad-minded, man.
But no, he's been very well since the games he started.
yeah.
Last
Me
couple of
personally,
Villa
yeah.
and Leicester has been good.
Definitely. So
You owe an apology. You weren't familiar with his game.
Not at the time, no, man.
Yeah.
It was Grandpa,
I mean,
man.
he's still no Party.
Nah, 100%. But
It's a different type of player.
I was going to say, do you think he gives you a different dimension? You guys look a little different, perhaps better in a different way.
possession-wise, definitely having the ball, breaking lines with him.
I don't think we're better at all with him.
Not in any way. Okay.
But
Ooh.
he's. I don't think we're better in any way with Jorginho over Partey.
No, I'm obviously Partey over Jorginho.
Oh no. I'm saying I don't see us. I don't think we're a better team in any way with Jorginho in the Partey. But I think he's a competent and good enough player to play whilst Partey's out.
Bro. For sure.
With Partey, he's a progressive passer. He breaks the lines. The diagonal passes he's got on lock. He gets the ball. He can almost play midfield by himself, you know.
Well, you said unlock you were talking about. I thought there was going to be a last thing you were going to say about it. They're going to hit him, but what's not the leg?
No. I'm not using those famous
He's got the diagonals on lock. He wears the number 5. I was waiting for it.
I was warming up. But like he's got all of that, and on top of that stuff, he's got the defensive side on him, and he's a physical presence in front.
But even
fills the rest of the team with confidence. With Jorginho, he's good on the ball. He's good at keeping the ball ticking, keeping the play ticking. He's like a bounce ball. He's like a bounce ball. He passes him, he bounces it off. He passes it off. But he's not a presence in midfield. He's small in midfield. So
I don't think so. You know,
can go. You know.
Like he dispossesses the ball. Like he gets the ball a lot. Like
he's smart, but he's smart.
He's reading of the game and all that stuff.
It's more like Busquets, where it's interceptions over tackles.
Yeah, 100%.
Reading of the game,
exactly. And as soon as he picks, you've seen it as well. As soon as he picks it up, it's a forward pass straight away, which I really like. Like especially
his brain is
especially teams like.
His brain is on a different level.
Do you ever think there's a case where him and Partey play together?
Saw it and I felt a bit sick. When I watched it,
because who plays deeper? Because they both play deep.
I think it'd be
so
Partey
Partey,
would
like-
play more advanced. Yeah.
that's
Would
weird to me.
Jorginho not do what Xhaka does? Because Xhaka isn't the
No.
most mobile guy in the world.
I know, but
No, I don't think
Jorginho
so.
gets outpaced by like refs.
Xhaka's
And
the
I'm
most
like,
advanced.
bro.
Xhaka's the most advanced Arsenal midfielder on that team.
I know, he's almost like
So
a
the most
full
advanced.
So J5 in that role.
Sometimes our most advanced player. Full stop. He's ahead of Jesus and
Like
Nketiah.
what's been happening here is like Odegaard's been becoming almost like to the right.
He's like a DLP,
deeper,
bro. Yeah.
Whereas I feel like push him more further forward and then have Jorginho on pass.
we need
And maybe
Odegaard
that
in that midfield,
unleashes
man.
Partey to go forward a little bit more as well to get into what he was doing over the last 2 years.
He's been occupying that just outside the box and getting them strikes.
Yeah, because I was gonna say people don't remember Partey at Atletico, bro.
Oh, if he scored that goal against you guys, it would have been the
brother,
goal
I
of the
remember when
season.
that-
I want to know your reaction when you saw that strike.
My heart dropped. My heart
The volley was insane.
Brother, I could not believe it. I said, is this the kind of day we're in?
Because he scored against them at Emirates as well.
Yeah,
Beautiful goal.
Same
but
thing.
The one at the
Bro, the way
your
he
ground,
caught it,
the
I
one-
was screaming. I
the
didn't
one at
lost my
your
voice.
ground, if you scored that as well,
That would have gone to the
I
season.
was gonna say people forget
nasty.
Partey at Atletico, bro. Is box to box, bro. Him and Roger maybe plays a little deeper. Partey at
Forget
Atletico, bro.
Partey and Rodri.
That's
but
mad,
they-
innit?
That
next to
midfield
each
duo
other,
was
you know?
nuts, bro. My God, but
They played that right back against us in the Euro.
yeah, I remember that.
Crazy.
But yeah, no. I mean, obviously Jorginho, big up Jorginho. He's been good since he's been here.
Very good,
Been
man.
in,
Happy with
obviously. Yeah, obviously very happy with him, especially in the absence of Thomas
Martinelli
Partey.
got an injury, by the way. I saw him go down. There was one period, but he came back on.
He faked it. He did a Paul Pierce basically. He went into the locker and came back out.
Came back out. Yeah, let's go. But yeah, it's 2-2 for Martinelli now. 2 goals in 2
I
games.
was gonna say, who were we on the podcast with the other day when we were at to defend Martinelli? Who was it that was it you who was? I remember we were talking about Martinelli, and I think 2 guys that we were on were like basically writing him off.
It was me.
No, it wasn't you. I think it was Fu and you.
Yeah,
'cause I
It
think-
wasn't me, but I remember I was saying he needs to step up because Saka's leaving him
Right.
behind very fast.
Yeah.
And I think he
I was
wasn't
saying
ready.
basically, I don't think he's gonna be of that world.
They were
world
taking his
level.
Brazilian status.
Yeah,
yes,
that's what it was.
Yeah, it was
He was
Fu squared.
taking his
It was
Brazilian
Fu squared. It was Fu squared.
my whole thing was like,
Who's
bro,
the Fuad?
he's what, 21 years old, 20 years old. So for
21,
me,
yeah.
like, you got to give players like this time. They're gonna have blips in their
I
career.
said for what he's done from the 4th division Brazil,
To
where
now.
he came to where he's come is
Tawano?
incredible.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah, it's one or something
I
like
think
that.
he'll be a top player, but I don't know if he'll be like Arsenal fans are saying Saka will be. I think Saka can be a world class player. I don't know if Martin.
You think it'd be Gabe Martin?
Who do you mean?
Gabriel Martin? Not Gabriel Martinelli.
No.
That's
It could be
crazy.
Gabriel Martinelli, but I don't know. People.
Nah, he's good, man.
I think, bro, his future lies centrally. To
Yeah,
be honest
same.
with you.
I think so as well. I genuinely think
He has a very good nose
striker.
for goal. Like his movement is quite excellent. It's just like 1v1, he's not the best yet, or he's far from the
Weird
best.
because
yeah.
in Arsenal's system, he's almost left a lot of 1v1s isolated on that left by himself, where Zinchenko tucks in. But I don't know, it works, I guess.
How good do you think Trossard was in that striker role?
Very good.
He's very good, man.
Yeah.
Like
I wasn't familiar.
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar.
me,
And he's done
yeah.
it sometimes with Brighton.
Brighton,
That's how he
yeah.
got his hat-trick, wasn't it?
I mean, Trossard for me, we've seen he has an eye for a goal in the past, but I think players like that who are so intelligent, they can really, and especially in a great
Play
system,
anywhere, yeah.
they can really play anywhere amongst a front three, especially when it's fluid. They have the movement, the instincts. That's not a surprise for me. with
Jota's
Trossard.
like
Such Jesus.
Yeah.
Such Jesus.
Jesus as well.
Trossard, yeah, he reminds me a little bit of like seeing Jesus up there, where he can occupy the wide positions, come inside, leave that, come deeper,
Right.
get involved. It's a headache. It's a headache, and that's how we start.
You
how
combine
we start-
intelligent players with a good system.
I think we would have scored 2 or 3 in the first 20-25 minutes if we didn't play Granit Xhaka. Like if we had someone much more advanced in that role.
He's fell off
Bec-
since the World Cup, to be
Yeah,
honest. with
Gabriel Jesus, I think personally, man.
you. Really?
I personally think
Jesus
so,
being
man.
absent has directly affected
Martinelli.
Xhaka.
Martinelli,
and
Xhaka.
Martinelli, I
game,
said
man.
for
The
sure.
The
but
Martinelli
Xhaka-
one, I remember you pointed that out
Yeah,
last episode, and I was like, yo, I didn't think of that.
because that's the left side.
Yeah.
You know, Xhaka's like high left centre mid. Martinelli's left wing. Jesus plays that position.
always floats there. as
Yeah,
well,
so it's like that they're a unit, you know, they're a unit, and it's
Yeah.
changed massively. But you know, like it happens, you know, players coming in and out of form. It happens. Trossard's goal
Oh,
that got
it's
disallowed
man. Beautiful.
was phenomenal. What
That
a
was
finish.
suspect for honestly the referees in this country, man.
That's not nice, man.
Shocking.
Yeah, man.
I don't know about not nice. I was happy they got this allowed.
Even did you see the game in ours where Ziyech got sent off and then
Yeah,
The refs in this
they
country
rescinded
is
it.
bottom.
You know, my favorite player was involved in it as well. It was Emerson, right? Emerson pushed him. Ziyech turned his back,
It's pushed him and then that's an A1 gamesmanship there, bro. That is A1.
Yeah, but what that listen, disallowed. That goal was such a great finish in his first game.
Oh, I was holding his hand, man.
Huh?
He was holding his hand, so I was like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Do you feel now comfortable that Arsenal are like they got past that little blip this past month? They're back on track. You feel comfortable with the team?
Everton.
What do you mean?
We need to get. We need to.
That's the answer.
We need to.
Yes or no when he says Everton.
We're traumatized by them.
We need to get.
Oh, is it their next game?
Back against them. That's kind of confident.
Is that your next game?
Yeah,
I was so
Wednesday.
confused. I was like, why are you just saying Everton?
We'll go next.
Makes sense now. Okay.
He's so traumatized.
Bro, I'm about to get a get back.
Mbappe.
He has nightmares. Been like Everton. No.
Fair. So if you win that game, you're confident. Like, okay, back on track.
We'll win the league by then.
Yeah, because our next couple of games we've got Everton at home, Bournemouth at home. Hopefully they're both winnable games.
I'm leaving it with something.
We got Sporting, and then we got Fulham away. Then we got Sporting again. Then we got Palace at home, Leeds at home.
It's a comfortable.
So if we have straight W's in the league games, forget about Europe for now. If Everton, Bournemouth, Fulham, Palace, Leeds, and only 4 out of 5 of them are at home.
Bro, that's nuts.
Only Fulham is away. If we go straight W's for every single one of them,
League is yours.
City will drop a couple. I think they'll drop a couple points.
I agree.
League's ours.
I know.
Because after that,
Arsenal as well.
Yeah, I think.
Nah, I agree with you.
If we go straight W's, win the league.
Yeah, because I think City too. Don't they have some difficult games coming up?
Yeah, I think they had a couple big games, but
We've got
even
Newcastle at home, I think, coming up.
But like City have the next game is Newcastle. They got Palace away, which is Palace in general is a bigger team for them.
And City, I think they'll start
and
to
Palace.
focus on UCL
Vieira will
too.
do us a job. We'll get into it. Sambi Lokonga and Vieira will do us a job.
I didn't watch the Palace game.
We'll get to them, but yeah.
I was gonna say Fabio Vieira for me. Hey, every time I see him a little more and more and more, I'm starting. I like his game, to be honest with
He's
you.
a creeper. He's a creeper.
The reason I got his shirt, man.
He's doing his work.
Really?
He doesn't. Steve does.
In the summer, he was one of the signers that went under the radar, and he's perfect, almost like off the bench, where you can fit into wide roles if needed, fit in the 8, fit in the 10.
You know what I compared him to? I think he's like a hybrid of Bernardo and Bruno, because I think he has that technical ability of Bernardo. He can carry the ball. He has good technical ability, but also I think he has the X factor like Bruno, where he can really create a goal out of nothing, whether it's an assist or a pop shot. Like I think he has that X factor in him. Yeah.
Where do you think he fits long term?
Left center mid. That's Xhaka role.
Yeah, that's Xhaka role.
I think right now he's just a little scrawny.
He needs to beef up a bit,
Once he beefs up, he's working in the background. I like that. I like sometimes having a player who's he hasn't got pressure on him. He's working in the background. He gets his Europa League games. He's been phenomenal in the Europa League in the group stages, by the way. He began his Europa League games. In the cup games, he's been phenomenal. All that stuff. Have a pre-season, beef up. No one's really thinking about you. And then bang, like get into the team.
That's for me, those United teams. I remember Nani and Anderson for me. We had them and like they come in a few games every once in a while, but they're like, we're here for the next few years. You'll give us a few games here and there.
It's all Portuguese names you're mentioning, man. You compare to Bruno, Bernardo.
Of course. So like having those players, what do I always say about like sustaining success? You have to continue building in the back. Like you can't just like be happy with the team you have. So Fabio Vieira, for me, if he really fulfills his potential and keeps getting better as he is, that's a piece that you have to look forward to in the future for sure.
Yeah. No, I agree. Fabio Vieira is definitely someone to look out for. A couple more notes on this game. There's another big loss for Leicester. I mean, Leicester right now, they're in 14th place.
Yeah, they had a decent run for a bit, and then
it's close down. They're very, very close down there because Leicester are in 14th place. Even if we go up to Nottingham, Forest are in 13th place, right? And Everton are the highest team in the relegation with 21 points. There's 4 points between 13th and 18th.
that sounds like fun.
Leicester for me are too good to go down. I've said it all season. Leicester for me, they have too much quality to go down.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But still, it's close. Yeah. Listen, Everton are only 3 points behind Leicester.
Yeah.
Like it's down there is crazy right now.
Dogfight for sure.
But yeah, most league goals scored by under 21 players in Europe's top 5 leagues this season. Completely. Number 1, Folarin Balogun, Arsenal player.
Wow.
15 league goals this season.
He's having a season for Reims.
He's got the most. He's got the most.
Will Still,
Will Still.
Yeah, for Will Still, bro. Yeah, 15 league goals. Musiala second with 10.
Yep.
Martinelli and Saka are third with 9 each.
There is.
So we got 3 out of the 4 top goal scoring players in the whole of Europe.
He's got
21s.
I'd like to.
He's not. No.
What happens with Balogun?
That's what I was gonna say.
That is a good question.
I think Napoli, when they sell Osimhen, should look for him.
Oh yeah, that's good.
I think that's a good.
I want to rob Napoli as well. Rob them.
No,
70 million. Hold that.
60-70 for Balogun. Dude.
Yeah, if you want him.
Who pays the crazy money for Osimhen though?
United.
Unless the
Big
Qataris come in.
Vic, welcome to OT.
Is that your
welcome to OT?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised as well.
Give me Big Vic. I want him at Old Trafford, bro. Why you want us taking your best player, bro?
I'm not. Listen, he's leaving one way or the other.
Yeah, you've been advocating for Harry.
We got
you got Kane and you got Osimhen. I think Osimhen.
No, hold on. I think Kane short term would be more ideal because I think he fits the makeup of the team. I think he'd probably be better for Rashford, in fact, too. But Osimhen, man, I've said it since like 2020. I got tweets all the way back from there. I look at this guy and I think he has star quality, man. Like he is capable for me of being one of the top 5 strikers for the next 10 years. I think he's that
Did
good.
we not see Tammy do this?
No. Osimhen
not see Lukaku do this?
Osimhen is not Tammy Abraham. And he's let me tell you,
we've seen guys do this in Syria.
Let me tell you,
look good against these 40-year-old
Let me tell you why Osimhen is
really got
dunking on
something.
them. And you know he's got the PMP, so he looks extra physical on them.
No. I'll tell you why.
Premier League, this is the normal bread and butter.
Oh yeah,
Physical athleticism.
DCL is the same. More
No, wow.
No, athleticism wise.
Osimhen is rapid, bro. DCL can't move.
Yeah, but he sees leap.
Osimhen, I'll tell you what the difference between him and Abraham and Lukaku is. I agree. Lukaku, for me anyways, he's underrated. Look how many amount of goals he scored in the Premier League.
Yeah.
That's if you can guarantee someone who scores 100 goals.
I'm saying, can he replicate what he's doing?
Yes,
he's
I'll tell you
got
why.
Kvisha there, who is almost, I feel like, giving him that Batman.
that-
And
That's
also,
why,
they
yeah.
just have like a magical season right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
He's-
magical
he's
team.
spearheading
Of
it,
course,
bro.
I'm saying like there's also the magical team effect. Like,
Of course, but I'll tell
like
you what I
how
love.
Argentina won the World Cup.
I'm gonna
It's
sound like
just
Lukaku
magical.
here, right? I like his mentality. Osimhen's mentality is
You know what?
A1, bro. That guy's a dog, man. That's the difference between him and Lukaku, bro. In big games, this guy doesn't disappear. He holds himself accountable. I think he has everything to be a world-class elite number 9 for the next 10 years.
Well, we'll see.
Do you not see Todd Bowley picking up the phone saying, "Hey,
Yeah, with this guy, I mean,
pay what you want."
probably, bro. He'll go spend 400 on him and Kvisha, bro.
They need
the
a
second he
striker.
signs for Chelsea, his career's over.
but
Finito.
Yeah.
He becomes a 9-7 goal a season striker, and
Yeah.
he's getting shipped back to, I don't know,
Yeah, Chelsea.
Montpellier in 4 years' time.
yeah.
or
The only worry I have for him is him and Rashford. Could they play together as well? Because I think that's where Kane, for me, would benefit Rashford more.
Yeah.
But Osimhen, man, you can't lose. I don't think you can lose an opportunity like that.
For me, he seems
Kane
a little
suits
bit
more.
flavor of
Yeah,
the
I think so.
month-ish is what I like
Nah,
Osimhen.
me,
I think
bro.
he's good, but I think people are going a little bit over. I
Check
think
the receipts
Kvisha
on
is more of the
That's a
the
Galactico
truth
right there.
than Osimhen.
That's a Galactico right
because even
there.
if you think about it, what's his name, Ademola Lookman, he's tearing up that league as well.
Oh,
Yo,
he's killing it.
disrespecting
Come on,
Osimhen,
bro.
no,
Can he
bro. Don't
get us in the Premier League,
don't
right?
disrespect
Ademola Lookman.
What are we doing here, guys?
Ballon d'Or contender Ademola.
So we're comparing Osimhen to Lookman. That's what
No,
we're
no,
doing.
but you're saying that the league.
This question,
nah,
the same.
man.
Because here's the thing:
Harry Kane is there, proven.
We throw Bundesliga allegations when players come from
Yeah.
the Bundesliga. Serie A, though, we don't really say that. We just say defensively great. And listen, it has been getting more competitive over the last couple of years. But I do always say, one eye. I'm still looking.
Because Kulusevski, he turned him and Benzema and Romero, they came from the Serie A.
Yeah.
And they turned out to be good.
No, they do. Yeah, exactly.
Look,
Right.
for me, it's not flavor of the month because I've liked Osimhen since like 2020, 2021.
Well, Lil days or
Bro,
early
you can go all the way back to my account. I have things saying like Haaland replacement, hashtag 2024. I've manifested this, bro.
2 years
But
ago.
what I will say is Harry Kane,
You're not turning
we
that
will
down.
we will turn him into a champion, bro. What we did with Van Persie, we will benefit each other. It'll be a beneficial relationship.
100
Bro.
mil.
Win us the league, we'll get you a trophy. You can
that's
go.
cheap, no?
100 M's.
He's like 30 years old.
Last year.
Last year of the deal, man.
100 mil. Give
So
it
who
to
do you want to bring in?
To be fair,
There's no replacing.
Balogun.
This is a Gareth Bale type situation. We're gonna need 3 or 4 man to come in.
they didn't.
There's no like for like.
Obviously, you guys want that, but didn't on Football Manager FaZe will sell Harry Kane for 100 mil to United? And
Yeah,
Who do you replace him
horrible
with?
replacements.
Yeah,
Horrible
Yeah,
replacements.
brought
Hey,
Lukaku
We
in.
brought Lukaku, Lucas Torreira. It was a few years ago, by the way. It was a few years
Okay, I
ago.
was gonna say
It's when Torreira was still in the Serie A.
Okay.
It was Lukaku, Lucas Torreira. Who else did he buy?
Christian Capone.
Capone.
What I can tell you about Faisal, man, his eye is fake, bro.
This
And he finished
This
10th.
might be a little bit early, but there's one player who I've seen very similar profile to Harry Kane.
Let us know.
Evan Ferguson.
Oh,
Brighton.
that is
Shout.
a yeah.
That's who you guys should go
If
by.
I was you, I'd
Crazy.
take him.
But I would take a gamble on like 20-25 mil. Just say,
why
cool,
not?
come.
Nah, you'll be more than
He's
25.
Brighton. They're gonna add another 30 on top of
the
that.
stock's gone up. Brighton's be
Brighton,
doing these
yeah.
inflation prices
Yeah,
too
those-
quick, man.
He
Come
has like
on.
the best goals per game minute in the ratio in the league. I think.
I can't. I've been seeing him. I'm like,
He's a
I like
problem,
him.
bro.
I like
He's
him.
a problem.
Big. He's 18,
bro,
bro.
he's got everything.
Good
Just
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
forward.
If you sell Harry Kane 100 million, Evan Ferguson, Matoma, bring them both
If
in.
Fergie was still manager of United,
Hey, I like your mentality.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Double
Matoma,
sub.
throw that in as well.
if
Yes.
Fergie was still at United, he'd go spend 40 million on Ferguson or something like that.
Oh,
He'd
of
go
course.
break the bank for Ferguson. That's what
Of
Fergie would
I
go by
think,
Fergie.
yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course.
Oh, of course,
100%.
of course he would. Well, let's go to the next game. At Selhurst Park, Palace versus Liverpool. It's a 0-0. It wasn't really a ball draw though, because there's a lot of like woodwork hits. Okay, Liverpool hit the woodwork 14 times this season, 14 times. Is that unlucky? Is that unfortunate? Is it just They just do too much crossbar challenges and training.
It's back to reality,
better
man.
shooters,
What
man.
is it?
It's back to reality. They had that little. They won a few games. They thought they were on an upward slope.
They beat Everton and Newcastle. didn't
Big
they?
Body Benz brought you back to reality, man. Vinsanity brought you back to reality, man. Y'all thought this was 2021. We did the same thing. Nah, man. Liverpool, y'all are cooked, man. Just accept your fate at this point, bro.
You know, I can't wait.
I remember United in 13-14. We had a few results. We beat you guys, Van Persie with a header, and we thought, okay, this is my kickstart our season, bro. This is like a car, right? When a 20-year-old car, and you try and like start the engine a few times. That's what Newcastle was for you guys, but just accept that the car is finished. You still got to return it, bro. This is back to reality. Thank you, Real Madrid. You guys did this for us.
Oh, you're gonna get moved to.
By who?
By Liverpool.
By
The way you're talking, I can't wait for them to
yeah,
get that.
yeah.
Mystical Mo or Vindictus Van Dijk.
Prime meme content there. Waiting.
This is not good, bro. You're speaking with too much confidence.
Bro, about what?
You're cooking Liverpool. You're playing them next.
He's playing at Anfield as well.
I don't think we're even going to win at Anfield. But you know what? Back in the day when we won 3 Premier Leagues in a row, we didn't win at Anfield. You know Anfield now is
It's like us. We don't win.
yeah, bro. You don't. It's like a mid-table clash. It's a potential stumble, bro. Like Sunday under the lights at Anfield, you stumble over. But hey, it's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of the season. They go from what 9th to 8th. Liverpool don't concern me, bro. They're finished. Klopp, the Liverpool Klopp era is finished.
Well, let's talk about the game and then we'll try and work out what the problem is at Liverpool, okay? Because this is the goalless draw. I think it's the first goalless draw between them two in the century. So that's a fun fact for you guys.
Wow.
Yep, thanks to my research team for that.
CVK on that.
It wasn't a great game. I mean, I didn't watch it, but from what I've seen, from what I've heard, it wasn't a great game. Both teams didn't really look up for it. Obviously, Liverpool hit the window a couple of times. Trent struggled in the first half quite a bit. I think Palace almost scored 2 goals off the back of Trent making errors. And yeah, man, there's not much to say about it. Sammy Lokonga. I think Palace fans are starting to like him a lot. I mean, listen, I gave Sammy some prop. Don't do that. What did I say? I said he could replace Thiago at Liverpool, didn't I?
To be fair, these days,
Liverpool fans, you'd rather take him. I know you'd rather take him.
he's more available than Thiago.
But yeah, like, there's not really much to talk about this. Did Liverpool have a chance to get top 4? We mentioned that before. I think they still do.
They still do.
I
feel like they could fight between Tottenham, Newcastle, and Liverpool.
Not with Stellini at the wheel, bro. If Stellini at the wheel, they got
They're
no
an
chance.
outside threat, I think, but I don't know if they can get their shit together quick enough, in my opinion. I think they've got too many punctures in their team. And for a little while, you can build a little 1 or 2 games. I don't know if they can get back to being that Liverpool. I think you look at Klopp as well. He's looking a little bit weathered, tired. A bit like Jose used to be in his last year. A bit like Conte's been over the last couple of weeks. Like, we've seen these managers once they get a little bit wound up over tedious things. And I don't know whether, as you said, Liverpool have just come to their end. And I think they're kind of happy to just see out the season. The thing is, I think they have to at least qualify for Europe.
They must.
I think that is the bare minimum. If he finishes outside the top 7,
it's long.
It's bad.
Here's the thing for me, too. People keep bringing up 2020, 2021. Oh, they had this huge comeback. But people also forget that Mo Salah that season went on this crazy run of form the second half of the season. He basically dragged that team into the top 4, in my opinion. This season, again, he's a bit like that car. Like you see him go through games where like you score a goal, it'll look like the old Mo Salah. They need him to go on a 10, 15 game run where he just goes back to vintage Mo Salah and drags this team. Because it's not going to be Gakpo. Nunez, you can't rely on him yet. Salah must rise and hold himself accountable because he's the leader of this team. He's the 400K a week man. And again, there's been games this season where he's shown glimpses of that, but not long enough for me this season. And if they have any hope of making top 4, it lies on his shoulders.
I think if Liverpool want to get back to where they were, like, all I would ask any Liverpool fans in the comments, like, what do you want to see in the summer? Because I think all year we've been hearing like midfield. But if you look at even their centre-back situation...
it's gone past the point of just midfield.
It's gone past the midfield now. Now it's the centre-backs need addressing. Okay, Darwin Núñez isn't working out. Do we maybe need to consider something? Do we need to freshen up Salah?
Their press is finished too.
The press is
from the front.
completely finished. Like, there's so many faltering gaps. And you can say, oh yeah, let's just replace Klopp. But is it just that? So almost like if you could give us like a 3-point breakdown of what needs to be done. Because I'm looking at Liverpool, I'm like, bro, I cannot figure it out.
That's what I keep saying.
And you look at Chelsea building. You look at Chelsea, I think this season, everyone can laugh, but I think long-term in the summer, they can add a few more senior pieces. They can be in and around top 4 next year. You look at United, you look at Arsenal, you look at City, Newcastle continue building. That is like a 5-grid lock-off. Well, I haven't even mentioned Spurs. But so, and that's what I'm saying. It's like that 5 is locked off there. So top 4 becomes crazy.
You're going to fall further and further behind.
100%. Liverpool, for me, have failed at every single level of. They failed at every single club level this year. At management, ownership, board, coaching, players, even the groundsmen, they failed, bro. They failed at every single level, bro. So, and again, you talk about Chelsea. They're spending so much money that it's impossible for me. Yeah. In my opinion, they might fire Potter. They'll find the right manager eventually with all that money. It'll happen eventually for them. Yeah. Liverpool, the news now that FSG are looking to retain the club.
That finished it.
I'd be depressed as hell if I'm a Liverpool fan. Yeah, because where's the that was like the one thing they had like going for them. It's in like okay,
summer we're gonna get a re-up in money,
and Klopp will finally have money to spend. Now you don't even have that, bro. It's like
I think the only thing now they have going for them is literally Phil Izzy.
You got the funniest SDS member.
I swear, like that's the only thing. That's the only bright spot for the club right now. Just Liverpool fans, please. Come forward. Tell us what's going on. Where's the blame directed at? Is it Klopp? Like, I don't know. I think the players have been run down. Last season, they played every single game in every single competition.
And who do you get rid of? Because I'm looking at guys like Salah, Virgil, Hendo, Thiago. Do you want to go again with them next year? I'm even seeing Trent getting dropped quite a lot.
Yeah,
subbed off and on in games. If that friction with Klopp keeps going, does he end up maybe saying, get me to Barca in the summer or something? I don't know.
If Arsenal could look at Trent, smile.
I'd love that.
Because that
inverted. He's a midfielder. He's a midfielder.
Trent at Arsenal would cook, bro.
Inverted.
As much as I've said Trent this year has been for me really, really poor. He's so quality, bro. Like the amount of individual talent that guy has. Team like Arteta will do wonders with that guy, bro.
We'll see how that goes. I mean,
I wonder what players will jump ship as well. Liverpool finished 10th.
Yeah, like we're tired of this. We've seen enough. In the summer, I want to know the ins and outs of Liverpool.
Yeah, we'll see.
We need an Amazon all or nothing for Liverpool, bro.
I would love that, man.
That's the one we need.
I would love that. All right, let's move on now to Man City. Played Bournemouth. It looks like a routine win, 4-1. Phil Foden.
20 minutes of that.
Yeah, but
first 20 minutes. So 1-0 instead I switched to
Phil Foden came back and said, "Listen, I'm still here, dog."
Yeah.
Said I'm still the man. Like Phil Foden created 7 chances in that game. The most is another fun fact by my research team. The most by a Man City player in a Premier League away game since James Milner in 2014.
Right, it's James Milner is the stat. I don't want to know this. I don't want to know about it, man.
You don't like the fact that James Milner's involved.
I don't want to hear that.
But Foden played really well that game.
Played well against what's it called too, Forest. I know he had that big miss, but I actually thought he was pretty good. That game,
yeah. And we just done an U23 top 10 U23 players in the world.
You cracked mine.
Video. Did any of you guys have him in top 10?
You made my 9th.
He made mine. I made all 3 of us. I think we're the only ones that had him in.
Yeah.
But everyone else didn't have him in. It's like he's already like fallen that far down.
He's yesterday's news, bro. That's what football fans are
like.
Yeah,
it's so quick. I mean, you didn't submit yours, but would Foden have been in it?
No, never.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think
crazy.
Ability-wise, you can never write him off. I think form-wise, people can say he's been hit and miss. I think international limelight always plays a bigger scope as well. The fact that the last 2 tournaments he hasn't done himself much justice, but you can.
He dyed his hair.
They were calling him, what was it?
Slim Shady.
God, man,
For me, I was really disappointed to see that he didn't play against Leipzig, especially because De Bruyne was out. I've been someone that I think the time has come now that we need to see Foden start playing more centrally. Like I think he's reached his ceiling as a wide player, especially in this Pep team where the wide players perhaps don't have as much creative license to do what they want, like not on other teams. I've been on the record of saying I want to see Foden playing in that David Silva role, perhaps in those central areas. For me, Foden's best season was when they went to the Champions League final and he was almost playing like as a false 9.
Yeah.
I thought that was the first time Pep has actually really given a player a complete free role in a team since Messi at Barca. You don't normally see players in Pep teams given that free role, and he gave it to Foden and he reaped the rewards. But something with Pep is like he's always so hesitant to like almost unleash, take the shackles off Foden. And I think you're getting to a point now where City aren't having a good season. Those players that are playing ahead of him aren't lighting the world up on fire. Why don't you give him a chance? And that game for me against Leipzig where De Bruyne wasn't there was the perfect chance to do it. I think Foden has to start getting opportunities in that role. Otherwise, if I'm Foden and Pep is staying there long term, I'm questioning, when am I going to finally get the chance to make this my team?
The ring, yeah. What I would say, though, is I think in the last 3 games, the Leipzig one, the Forest one, and even this one, I think they've been City's best performances of the season.
Leipzig was okay.
Leipzig in one half, I'll say. In one half, they actually dominated. And I just thought this new system Pep's been trying to fit in this 3 Rondo session and Haaland at the top of it. It's actually been working, and I don't know when it's gonna fully click. But that's why I wouldn't sleep on them in the title, in my opinion. I think
You can never.
City, even till the last day, I won't sleep on them unless we're
We could
like
be 6 points clear on the last day. I don't care.
6 points clear in the last day. Haaland will score 8 goals, and suddenly there's a rule in the rule book that if a player scores 8 goals and 7 points, and they win the league.
And I think now we're over the Haaland mania, or what was it?
Haaland house sanity. Erland sanity.
I think now we're kind of over that. Now it's just like as long as he gets his one, he's kind of happy or whatever. But it's kind of the system is starting to click. I think is the most important.
But here's the thing with Haaland, right? Especially the Leipzig game. It's probably the one I noticed it the most. This guy makes so many runs that are like incredible runs. In City, either they don't notice him or their players aren't capable of playing that final ball. Like De Bruyne, we know that ball from the right, but I don't want it to sound crazy here, but De Bruyne centrally, his chance creation is not like at the level as it is wide.
It comes from right.
Gundogan, exactly. It comes that outswinger basically. Like Gundogan, he'll look up and he isn't capable of playing that final ball. Bernardo Silva the same way. Like he's ball retention, but does he have that killer pass in him?
Yeah.
City, Haaland makes so many amazing runs, and I just think at United, if Bruno were to play him through, or at a different club, he'd get so many goals. And I think back to the quote that Carragher had at the start of the season, or like midway through the season, where he's like, he might have signed for the wrong club. But he's scoring 27 goals.
That's why I feel like the Leipzig game and stuff, the last few games, the systems have started to work. Previously, that's where we were saying City were going wrong. Yeah. They kept trying to force those passes, and it wasn't always coming off. And when they don't come off, all of a sudden, you forgot that muscle memory of what you used to do, and now they've gotten back to that. I feel like let him get his one or two. The team was never about you. You were a nice addition to the team. Champions League, we're going to rely on you.
Right.
That's where you need to turn.
Yeah. And what you just said as well, I think Henry broke that down perfectly about like knowing your players. I mean, Henry said it literally like when I played with Dennis Bergkamp, played with Pires, and I knew this guy likes to play here. And like Haaland knows where to run and knows where to go, but his players are just not. It's not clicking. Yeah. Also, it's tough because like in the Bundesliga with the higher lines and stuff like that, he can make that run and literally that
cash money.
I think one of his first games this season against West Ham.
Perfect.
They played. There was a goal he scored in that game. It was a bit of a high line. He got in behind 1-on-1 against the keeper. He had so much time. He readjusted his whole body and just went with his left foot. So, but that doesn't happen much in Premier League. Teams don't play that high in the Premier League.
Especially against City. They play deep.
Especially against City. Yeah. So it doesn't happen. But Bruno's a good manager because someone like Bruno would be that kind of player that'd be better suited for finding him.
United in general, that transition game. That's the thing with Haaland. They haven't seen, the Premier League has not seen Haaland's best version yet. Haaland in transition is one of the scariest players I've ever seen in my life. With the power and pace that this guy has, with like the accuracy of his runs, he's a freak. And City don't play like that. They don't get the opportunity to play like that.
Runs with so much force and power.
This game was the best example of that. I don't know if you remember the goal he scored against Palace, where some defender just ran alongside and just went, get off me. And I was like, right, that's the Bundesliga Haaland.
I can't,
I think he did it as well at home to Adam Webster.
Few goals.
Your boy as well.
A lot of them have been 6-yard box. I'ma just eat what I can. But there've been 1 or 2 goals where it's like, that's the Haaland we've been.
But he can do it. Like you've seen it for Dortmund against PSG in the Champions League when he almost broke the net. You know what I mean? Like he's just so powerful.
His running power is
a little bit of that because that was the reason why even last week I saw Bearman had Haaland like 4th, 8th.
Yeah,
9th. I was like, there's too much disrespect going on Haaland lately. I'm like,
crazy.
People are trying to call him tapping merchant. I'm like, he's got 33 goals. You'll not forget quick.
He has only got 1 goal outside the box this season in Premier League.
I don't care.
Van Nistelrooy was the same way, bro.
I don't care either. But he can do any type of goal. You know, he can do any type of goal. He's got the power and like the shots he can shoot.
And end of the day, I always say this isn't the NBA, bro. Scoring from outside of the box doesn't give you 3 points. It doesn't give you 3 goals. It's true. You're scoring tapping at the center. That's the most true. It's not NBA. I always say this, right? In the modern game, the reason you see less and less long shots these days is because it's an inefficient shot. You're further away from the goal. And the reason why you see the cutback into an open net more and more and more is because it's the most efficient.
It's XG, bro.
One of the things I probably hate the most.
True, of course.
It's like a lost art in football. I've always said long shooters.
Yeah, but
the game used to be full of them, and I loved it when you had.
But for me, it's our stars. What's my favorite type of goal to watch? It's the one where it's like across the box, like to bang, bang, bang.
Liverpool made it their specialty.
Like pop, like short, long, wide, across the box tapping. That's the best goal to watch. I love it. And cause it's guaranteed.
It's impossible to miss. Guaranteed. That's why Sterling scored so many goals.
That's what I was gonna say. At City, Sane and phenomenal. Sane would be that final pass across the box. Sterling back post tapping in. I love it because it's such a guaranteed goal.
And I think United have that's the goal that they score the most these days as well too. Like that's been coached into the game. Honestly, long shots have been coached out. That tapping has been coached in.
It's great. 100%. I mean, also in that City game, I think Alvarez scored 2 goals in that game.
Yeah, and they were talking about him today.
Alvarez.
Chingrito TV was reporting today that reporting today that reportedly he's already tired of of his role at City, and he's looking potentially to leave.
I don't doubt it.
I don't know if they're trying to like force they're trying to like create a Barca or Real Madrid rumor, but
I don't get what he has to do at this point to start for City. I feel like every time he's had a cameo, whether it's off the right, off the left, coming playing off Haaland, he's always offered something that whoever he's coming on for has been able to. Then I saw him at the World Cup, and that was the moment for me.
Stamped it for me, man.
Stamped him. I said, big games, clutch moments, taking man on, grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck and saying, I'm going to do this.
That changes a player, man.
That's what City are looking for, though, at the moment. And it's like, you're not using it fully. So if he starts kicking his feet like Ferran Torres, then I wouldn't be surprised if he wants.
You can't blame City because they've got Haaland. And you can't blame Alvarez because he's just come from a World Cup. He played the games. He's ready to play week in, week out. You can't blame anyone in that position, to be fair.
Get him in some way, somehow.
I think there's been games where Pep has played like a 3 and like he's been off the left or like he's not a winger, but he's not really a 9 at the same time. Like he can play as a 9 as well, but like he can kind of play like that inside forward role.
That's his natural position.
I think he was a striker, but my point is he can play like almost coming off the left a bit. Like he can do that role. And I've seen him do it for City in the Carabao Cup. Maybe it was the FA Cup against Chelsea. He has that aggression, that speed. He can play a key role for City this year. But you know how Pep is with players in his first year as well.
Someone else that I don't know, I could even see leaving soon, and it's not worked out. It's Calvin Phillips. Yeah, he's coming off the bench. He's just not.
Was it?
Like Rico Lewis is starting ahead of him in that defensive mid role. Like it's
That's
just
the Rodwell signing all over again.
Yeah, Jack Rodwell, big contract.
Throwback.
Yeah, big contract, made a lot of money, but just I don't know.
I see him going to West Ham. Rice's replacement.
Hey, that's not a bad shout.
Yo.
Hey,
technical director.
Some ways,
Star's got some shouts. Star's got some sneaky shouts in his locker.
Yeah, he's like, no, Will Steele from manager to
You speak French too.
Star from a podcast to technical
You got some
director.
French Stars.
I like it.
You got some French.
You should take Edu's job.
I think I'm debating. I'm not.
It's impossible to do worse. It's impossible to do worse.
That guy, man, he can't talk to no one.
You should take Edu's job. I like
every girl at the club, you can't get one.
Bro, he struggles out there, man.
Let's speaking of West Ham, let's go over to West Ham versus Forest. 4-0. Good result by West Ham. Some good goals in that game.
15 minutes spell where West Ham just blitzed them, bro.
Yeah.
4 goals in 15.
Danny Ings showed up. Showed how good of a player he is. Scored a couple goals. He's the first player to score Premier League goal for Burnley, Villa, and West Ham. He's a Claret Blue boy.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same.
You know what I mean? He only wears Claret Blue.
He really loves it, innit?
He loves that's his favorite color, man. Paqueta's got 3 assists this season. He's the most assists for a West Ham player.
My boy.
Declan Rice with a beautiful finish. I mean, hey, listen, West Ham.
Calm win.
You think they're gonna stay up because they were like they've been in and around that relegation all season?
They needed a win like that, man.
Yeah,
I feel like we were talking before the show started. Like Paqueta, I felt like this season he has been so like underwhelming.
Big time.
And I think Moyes probably hasn't used him to his best.
Facts.
But I think there were moments in games where I thought, all right, you've given me the little cute trick for the comp, but can we get some end product now? Yeah, do you know? But can we actually get some execution?
Yeah.
And I feel like a win like that for me, when you're in a relegation scrap, you need them kind of kickstarters.
Yeah.
The Declan Rice goal, for me, Paqueta getting 3 assists, there's so many positives to take from that. There's no way for me they can't build momentum.
But they've still got Conference League as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. They do.
Got that actually.
Yeah, they still got that as well. So
They're playing against AEK Larnaca.
I think they could win it though.
Who else is in that actually?
Good question. Let me check.
That's a catch-22. What if
So the
while you're
Conference
trying to go for that, you end up getting relegated?
Yeah, true. The Conference League has some good teams. There's Lazio's in there, Villarreal, Anderlecht's in there.
Focus
Nice.
on your Premier League survival, man.
Yeah, Fiorentina, Istanbul.
I think I could see Maurizio Sarri winning that competition.
Who?
Maurizio Sarri coaches Lazio.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought it was one of the
shout,
teams.
Yeah, my favorite team Maurizio is there.
Yeah. To be fair, I would have had
Some Romanian team we don't
From
know.
Kazakhstan, actually.
Yeah, that's how some of those teams sound. But no, very good win for West Ham. Do you think David Moyes can turn around and keep them up there?
I think they're going to stay up.
I think they'll stay up, and then they got to get rid of Moyes at the end of the
Absolutely. Like you're talking
That's
about
how I look
Paqueta,
at it.
right? I'm a big fan of Paqueta. I had probably the howler of the season this year because I said I started the season. I said I prefer Paqueta to Odegaard. Obviously, that looks like a horrible shout. But again, I accepted my L. I'm a grown man. I accepted my L, right? But I actually really think Paqueta is excellent. I was a big fan of Matt OL. Like I've seen him for Brazil in the Copa America. Like he played a huge role for obviously the World Cup. He didn't have a great World Cup, but I think you look at him and Scamacca. Those were the 2 marquee signings for West Ham this year. And I think it goes back to Moyes. he can take you to a certain level, but the minute you want to like grow as a football club and play more expensive and attract those kinds of players that play that brand of football, that's where he kind of lets you down. I think Paqueta and Scamacca have been the victims of his inability to really be flexible with the way he plays. Like, it's his way or the highway, bro.
Because I think the Bulls done a good job with the signings. Scamacca is good. Aguerd has been one of the best centre backs, isn't it?
Wicked.
Aguerd,
he's
what
great.
a signing
He's great
thing,
as well.
by the way.
Paqueta's a great player,
Exactly,
bro.
Paqueta.
But it's like him, Rice, and Souček in the midfield. And like Paqueta for me is best in the final third. You got Souček, who I don't know.
Bro, whenever I see Kufal, Souček, Bowen, Cal Antonio, I'm thinking this is not 2-3 years ago.
So Paqueta
allow
went
it.
from playing with Neymar and Vinicius, and now he's playing with Souček. Come on, bro.
And
Like,
that's the thing. I feel like, in all honesty, I think a lot of West Ham's problems stem from Souček as well. I feel like over the last 2-3 years, he's been almost like the set piece specialist. But once those goals faded away, honestly, his game contribution
He's
throughout
mid.
9
Nothing.
games is
He's mid.
minimal. Physical battles and a few fouls. And I'm sorry, with the team that West Ham were building at the start of the year, had you moved him and put someone more competent, maybe a Fornals or something like that, you would have actually been able to build something. With someone like him, you're almost every time saying, I'm going to war.
Yeah.
I'm going to war. And it's like, you don't need to
how about
go
some
to
football,
war
motherfucker?
Like,
How about someone too?
bro, it don't make sense, honestly. So for me, whenever I see a West Ham team lining up with Souček, I'm just like,
He puts the
you've
mid in
already
midfield
lost
there,
the game.
bro.
1-0.
He puts the mid in midfield there. That guy's ass, bro.
He was their player of the season a couple years ago. It's crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. When they wanted to play that style of football, he's brilliant. You lump it up to him in the box, he knocks it down the floor. Now it's okay. You play that style. But then when you sign Paqueta and Scamacca, this is an indication that you want to play a new brand of football.
And I'm telling you,
100%.
if you're looking target man who can head the ball, you just signed Scamacca.
Yeah.
You move it a little bit more forward. Move the long balls a little bit more forward now.
But the thing with him too is like they looked at him and said, okay, he's like our new Antonio. Like he's not a guy like he's like almost like I called him like an H-Tech Zlatan basically. Like he's really good with his feet.
Yeah.
Like, he can play with the ball at his feet. And they're these are lumping it up to him like he's crouched, bro.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's David Moyes' fault,
That's
man.
it, facts.
I mean, they got a big win now. Hopefully, they can continue this. I think their
How many
next
points
few
are they?
games
How many
right
points do they
now
have Chelsea.
behind. They're like 8 points behind them.
It's not love
Shit
like.
gets spooky real quick, Chelsea.
24. Nah, same amount of games. 8 points behind
Hey,
them.
man.
That's
Shit gets
crazy.
spooky
isn't it?
real
Hey,
quick,
it's crazy.
Chelsea.
Next game: Everton versus Aston Villa. Shout out to Ollie Watkins, by the way.
Facts.
First ever Villa player to score 5 consecutive Premier League games.
Oh wow, man.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's big.
Good player, man.
One of them was against us, man. At times.
If we won, I don't care, man.
That's
Scoring him?
2-0 Villa. Away from home,
So,
obviously.
you know, I hate Everton, you know.
No, hold on.
They just want to beat us and then say, you know what, let's just pack it in.
I thought the Snoods were in fashion and the Snoods were out of fashion. Real Man was back in Dutch relegation. What happened, man?
I don't know.
I thought Snoods out, the Everton were back.
They played. They won last week, right?
Did they?
Or they beat us and then
I don't think they've won a game since then.
They lost to Liverpool.
I think they drew last week. Let me just.
They lost to. I don't think they haven't.
They beat Southampton, right?
Dyche only won one game. I think they drew. I think he beat us for first game buzz and then.
Let me see the results.
What's tough? Like tough.
See the results real
But
quick.
this one's bad. Losing at home to Villa.
Yeah, they beat Leeds. They beat Leeds. They beat Leeds.
See, I knew
Real men are back. I don't know, man. You feel me? Oh, he took the Snoods out. This is what real relegation.
But this one's bad though
That was
because they're at
actually
home.
bad. Yeah, that
At
was
home
actually
to
bad.
Villa, you know, at home to Villa. Shouldn't be losing
Yeah,
at home at all. Obviously, like I said, Watkins is in great form right now. That's what I like about right now about the Premier League. There's so many players that have their like those Amarondos, the Matomas, there's this, there's that.
Solly
Now
March
Watkins,
even had a little
Solly
spell.
March, like, there's so many players now, so much quality in the Premier League. And Ollie Watkins, I'm happy for him to. He's an Arsenal fan as well, so I'm happy he's doing well. Always have for goodness to be doing well. But yeah, Villa are currently unbeaten in each of the 8 Premier League games against Everton since they were promoted back in 2019. So Villa always have a good record against Everton, anyways.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the most played fixture in Premier League history as well. Aston Villa Everton. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I think.
I wouldn't be
Research
surprised. I would be surprised. Hey, researcher, why have I not got that here? I mean, Everton's never been relegated, so maybe.
Yeah, but so neither
Villa
Man
have.
United. Like, I don't think that's true, bro.
I'll
even
I'll
Arsenal.
verify that for you.
Yeah, Villa have been relegated. Like,
Yeah, Villa have. They came back a couple seasons ago.
I don't think that's. It might be the most first division played game, like in terms of like English. Okay, I was gonna say
First
Premier,
division.
Hey man.
Okay.
Hey man, I know ball.
Clearly not. He said Premier League.
He said Premier League.
Specify, please.
That's first top flight of English football, isn't it?
Don't start the sauce,
Check
man.
the tape. Don't start the sauce. Check the tape. I heard Premier League.
But Everton, I don't know, man. Like apparently Everton fans are not happy with Connor
They're
Cody
going
as well.
down, man.
They're not happy with Connor Cody. Yeah,
What, double agent?
They're not. They don't think he's playing good right now. Connor Cody, they're hating on him.
I don't know. I think Cody, Tarkowski, listen, them man are experienced man who've been down there in the trenches. I think he hasn't covered himself in glory since moving from Wolves. But even at Wolves, I think his final season, his stock was kind of going down. Yeah. But they got Yeremina still there as well. He was scrapping with fans a couple of weeks ago. I ain't seen him since. But
he's like light skin, isn't it now?
Brother, I've never seen someone change shades like that, man. Adama? Have you seen?
Yeah,
that's a shout. Actually, have you seen the Family Guy thing? Yeah, them are trying to move up. Them are trying to move up the graph. But no, listen. Defensively, I think they've got to rely on a Sean Dyche system more than the individuals. I think those individuals, they're just warriors. But Tarkowski's not going to light up any top Premier League side. Same with Cody. Same with Mina.
I think they seem to be playing okay right now, but they just don't have someone that can finish the chances. They don't have someone. Mopai and DCL.
Unless they play Arsenal 38 games a season, they ain't doing shit.
Brother, it's you're hunting with a blind dog. As they say.
That's what Mourinho said. They're sending me to war with a cat. They're sending me to go. That's what he said about Benzema. They're sending me to go hunt with a cat.
Yeah, bro. Benzema.
Yeah. That's when they went and got Adebayor. He's like, they're asking me to go hunt with a cat.
Crazy, innit?
Ballon d'Or me.
That is mad. That is mad.
But I think Everton are going down.
I still think that should keep him up.
Yeah, same. I think results like this will be a good reality check for them.
I think Leeds will go down.
Yeah, for me, Southampton and Bournemouth are a lock.
Yeah, I agree.
It's one more spot, and
I just don't
like
Everton,
attack, Leeds, West Ham.
Wolves, definite.
I think Wolves stay up.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Wolves
Southampton
are too good,
and
man.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, okay, yeah.
Lopetegui's a very he's been making them play well.
It's still tight down there. Wolves are only 3 points.
Does it for Leeds?
Nah, I think he goes down, man.
They won this weekend.
I mean, they won. We can move on to there now. They beat Southampton 1-0.
And of all the Watford managers, I think he was one of the few that had
the best one.
The best one, wasn't
And
he?
you know, like he.
I don't even know he was manager. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he was manager.
He's one of their 15.
2-3 days ago, bro.
He was at Watford for 2 seasons, and for Watford that's 20 years.
I think they won it. Yeah,
that's equivalent.
That's like dog years.
I was thinking about that.
You know, he's their longest serving manager in the last 10 years. He was there for 2 years.
Yeah, that's mental. Watford are crazy.
Crazy, bro.
Like, was he the one who got into the cup semi-final? Or was that Kike Sanchez Flores?
I'm not sure. They
had
so many.
That was
They had so many different managers. I don't know which one they do.
They hired him twice.
They all look the same as well.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, they all like similar kind of vibe. Yeah.
They had that one guy who used to coach Napoli. What's his name? Mazzari or whatever. Yeah.
Last season, I think they had like 2 or 3 different managers.
I swear there's 2 or 3 managers now that manage.
Ranieri.
Bro. Sean Dyche.
Oh, right now in the Premier League.
Yeah, in the Premier League.
Yeah, Sean Dyche.
Silva, innit? From Fulham.
Marcus Silva.
They're all on the field.
Yeah, all former Watford manager. To be fair, I think it's the thing was like even in the football league, 92 teams in the league, I think maybe like 15% of managers have probably managed Watford at one point, bro.
Rotate.
Watford, it's their ownership is the family that owns Udinese and the Pozzo family. They own Udinese, they own Granada, and they own Watford. And there was a point where
they have similar kids.
They were also just selling players to each other at one point.
That makes sense. Have you seen Watford?
Went from Udinese to Watford.
Who was that one right back that they had?
Trusted Kong, yes.
De La Feu went the other way. He went from Watford to Udinese. They just wrote.
They had that one right back, Nyom. I think he played for all 3 of them too.
You see, Watford's away kit right now, or third kit or something. It's basically Udinese. It's like white and black. It's
Pozzo family.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. But yeah, but moving to Leeds, literally leaving to Leeds. Javi Gracia. They beat Southampton 1-0. That was a big game. Bottom of the table scrap.
6-pointer that.
It was a relegation 6-pointer. Southampton just beat Chelsea, and then they've had to go away to Leeds, and obviously Junior Firpo is the one that brought a deadlock.
Yeah. See what Firpo said about Leeds?
What did he say?
He said Leeds' stadium, Ellen Road, has a better atmosphere than the Camp Nou.
What?
Jeez.
I believe that as well.
He said that.
Ellen Road is nuts, but Camp Nou is. I mean, you know.
Yeah. I'm familiar. Camp Rash, actually.
To be fair, hold on. He was Camp Nou is a bit. Camp Nou just like this.
Nah, they went hard when I was there. I mean, not as hard as United fans. We took that shit over.
When he was there, though, was the down years. So I'm not gonna let him have that.
No, it's also he's ass, bro. He's mad that they don't give him a chant or something like that.
Yeah, guy here, man.
No, he was saying it's because at the Camp Nou you get a lot of tourists. You get a lot of people who only come from Messi or whatever. Where like Leeds, it's like all like. It's like hardcore fans. And stuff like
That is true. That is true, man. Like, probably heard his name from the fans. Like, oh shit!
Get out of my line.
That football lad, he's all right. He's all right. It's all right, Tony. Okay,
that's all right.
Not bad, you know.
Hey.
That's like a 6 out of 10.
I'll take that. Honestly, sometimes my British accent sounds Australian, so you know what? I'll take 6 out of 10.
He's been watching too much Green Street.
I've been hanging out with you guys too much, bro. Get fucking stuck in.
That was bad.
Don't do that again. Don't do that again. You got too ahead of yourself there. You got a bit too excited.
I got too much dip on my chin.
You got too excited. Damn. Have you watched Green Street?
Nah, but people keep
whole
telling me to
series?
watch it. Yeah,
That's the first
It's with
thing
the one
you watch.
American guy, right?
For trying to immerse yourself to British
That's
culture
him.
and football, watch Green
He's
Street.
this one with the American, right?
Yeah.
The first time I ever
Watch all
made
of them.
content and put it on Twitter, because everyone used to think I was British on Twitter before I spoke on video.
Yeah.
And they're like, this fucking Yank or something like that.
This Yank.
I was like, oh my God. I got flooded with that. Yo, Reams of Steel. He used to send that to me every day, bro. Oh, yeah, man. Good times, bro.
Yeah, but
growing up.
staying on the Leeds game. Southampton, they're done. Like, they're just done
Yeah.
now. Like they actually looked awful. They didn't look good at all. Lavia is a bright spark. Will Prowse is obviously their best player.
The shopping trip's gonna be nice in the
Oh,
summer.
Who you
yeah,
copping from?
they've
Bella
got
Kotchap? Bella Kotchap, you
Come
think?
here.
I want Bella Kotchap. What a player he is.
I might take Bazunu.
Give me.
Who do you want?
Give me Lavia,
This
man.
is the technical director. Who do
No,
you
give me.
want?
I want us to have Lavia, man.
Lavia? We'll take Lavia.
I'll take it.
We'll take Bazunu.
No, we got Bazunu. No, hold on.
We need a goalkeeper more than
No,
you.
you need
got the
everything. Yeah, exactly.
I think City will take back Lavia. If they get rid of Phil Phillips, they'll take back Lavia. They got
that's
the
a
buy,
shout.
they got the first dibs.
I know
innit?
Chelsea bid 50 million for Lavia, I swear.
Yeah, but in the same window that
Yeah.
that one's got.
Balling, what are
Yeah,
you
I think City
cooking?
taking back. So is there anyone else you want from them? Would you say Will Prowse?
No, never.
Never.
No.
For the celebration, you got to
Ward-Prowse-
take him.
Ward-Prowse has to go down with them and bring them back up.
Yeah,
I will not
You
accept
reckon?
a Ward-Prowse transfer.
Southampton, bro.
They're not coming back up.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say. They're not coming back up.
Stay
when they
down.
They'll
go.
be down for years.
Stay down.
Nah, he's 28.
Stay down.
Bro. He's 28, bro. He's 28.
man. Stay down.
You love them? Do you love them? Do you?
Are you going to die for this shit?
Nah, they love him, man. I was at the training
Is you with
ground.
me or what?
His face was there, man. I was on the training ground. His face was there. It was like Theo Walcott, Gareth Bell, Matt Letizia, James Ward-Prowse.
He is
That's a legend.
He's
I forgot who else it
symbol
was.
of the club, man.
Oh,
A
yeah,
model of consistency as well, man.
Big time.
me
But
Bazunu,
they're going
bro.
now, man. He's got to go. He's got to leave. He has to leave. He's got no other choice.
You want Bazunu as your number one?
Yeah, I'll take him.
Number one.
Yeah.
That's too much of a jump. Let him come us for 3 years. You can take him after.
Yeah, for real. Got you.
Nice. There you go. Hey, you guys saw it. The deal's been made.
You know this one.
The deal's been made.
It's in writing. Yeah. That was an official transaction right there.
They shook on it.
Yeah.
I mean, Leeds got a win. Exciting, a big win for them. Big 3 points, but it's not really changed much because they're literally 1 point outside the relegation zone.
I believe in Leeds for some reason, though, bro. I just like the
They're
individual
1
talent that they
point.
have more than Everton, to be
Let me
honest.
look at their fixtures. To be
They're
fair,
Yanks, man.
let me look at their. Let me look at their
I don't
fixtures.
even like the Yanks. I like Adams, but McKinney, I'm not a fan of.
We'll look at their fixtures now. They got FA Cup next. Cool, whatever.
Would they play Chelsea?
They got Leeds, Fulham. They got Chelsea away.
Big
That's
6-pointer right there.
Easy 3 points for them. Yeah.
Big
Chelsea are handing up 3 points right now.
All Leeds has to do is overrun that midfield.
We saw Leeds
and
against
just
Everton.
panic it.
Leeds against Chelsea. They beat them, what, 4-1 or 4-0?
Yeah, 3-0, I think. At Ellen
Oh,
Road.
yeah, that's what Koulibaly.
Koulibaly got sent off.
You found out, man.
Don't know. But yeah, so they're playing Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. They got Brighton at home. They got Wolves away. To be fair, when you're that low into the table, every game looks hard.
Yeah, it's a big one.
So I can't even see any easy game because everyone's above them.
But I just like I look at
They're
them
coming
versus
to Emirates.
Everton.
They're coming to Emirates
Yeah.
soon as well.
Everton are better coach in my opinion. Like I'd back Deitch over my man, what's his name, Garcia.
Yeah.
But I look at the individual talent that could potentially get you out of those games. The midfield that they have, McKennie and Adams. I don't write out for the US like that, but that's decent quality to have down there.
Yeah, yeah.
You look at Gnotto, you look at Somerville, Aronson.
I'm not gonna lie. Everton might be in trouble, man.
What are you saying?
Talk to me.
I know last game of the season
Obviously,
they got you guys.
They got Emirates now. They got Emirates now Wednesday.
Yeah.
They're going Bridge as well. Stamford Bridge as well. Let's see if Chelsea give them.
I swear last game of the season they have a
They're
big
going.
game.
They're going to Old Trafford. They got you guys at Goodison.
No, they'll beat United.
They got Newcastle. They still got
They'll beat
Newcastle. They
us
still
at
got
Old
City.
No way.
They'll beat.
What?
Aye, the
Saying the early days, man.
relegation
Stop
battle
that.
was exciting. You know, the
Yeah.
last 2 games of the season, Everton's last 2 games are Wolves and Bournemouth.
That's usually how it ends up being, though, right? Like
This
top
is
4
exciting.
top 4 always ends up being like the least shit gets it,
Yeah.
and then the relegation battle is really like last few days. Remember Everton last year when they came back from 2-0 down, they won 3-2,
Yeah, Lampard.
and they all stormed the pitch. That shit gets lit down
gonna
there,
be
bro.
exciting.
I like that. I like it. I hope it goes down to the final day. I hope top 4 goes down to the final, and I hope the title even goes
Oh
down to the
no,
final
I can't bear that. I can't take that.
I needed that.
I can't take that.
You know when Sky are doing those split screens and fans are like, yo, have they scored? Have they scored?
2012 was a dark day in my life,
that
bro.
again.
You know, it was Mother's
So
Day, right?
I'll take that because our last game of the season's at home, so I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
So if we win the league that day,
have you bought your tickets for that already? Or
I got season ticket, man. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, he's ride or die right here. He ride or die.
I'll be dead no matter what.
Fair. I remember 2012, bro, when Aguero did that. That was a dark day in my life. It was Mother's Day, right?
It was also Liban's 17th birthday.
Yeah, you told me that. No, but I remember it was Mother's Day because we had the detail. I'll tell you what the weather. I'll tell you what. I remember the Mother's Day. It was a nice ass day, right? I mean, it felt like the world is falling apart, but we were getting ready to go to brunch after that, right? And like me and my dad were gassed this over. I can't believe we finessed this title, bro. Because the last few games we were ass. And then he scores me. I like fell to my knees, bro. I remember.
In Times Square.
And then in my living room.
Times Square like this.
Bro. And then my mom was trying to force us. We had reservations. She's like, we gotta go. I was about to tell you, leave the hell alone, man. Mother's Day. I was gone, bro. And then we're just eating brunch and stuff like that. Eggs and stuff like that.
Random breakdowns. Bro,
I'm eating eggs and I'm like, I'm eating eggs.
The street performance.
When a good thing goes bad, it's like the
Guy going to the restaurant.
end of fun.
How you fall to your knees in Times Square?
Bro, come on, man.
Dark day in my life. I remember everything about that day, man.
Damn,
Everything.
man.
Bro.
That's sad, man. And like I said, it was also Liban's birthday that day. So.
That's ass. That's ass. You can't even open your presents happy or nothing.
He thought he won the league that day.
Yeah.
Imagine. And he lost the league on his birthday.
That's
to that kind of moment.
What a gift.
That is amazing, man.
That'd be my last birthday. I'll be real, bro. I'd be jumping in the nearest river, bro.
I think we have only one more game left. I think we got one more game left.
What's the game?
It is Fulham Wolves. Is that the only game we have left? Damn, this is usually we've been going for 2 hours. Today is only an hour and a half. There's less games this week.
Since we didn't talk about Arsenal for an hour.
Because there's always less games this week. Yeah. Final game, Fulham versus Wolves, 1-1. Fulham, listen, man, strength, sixth place. They're in sixth place. Obviously, teams around have games in hand over them. So Brighton have 3 games in hand over them. Liverpool have 2 games in hand over them. So. But still, they're in sixth as it stands.
6 points behind Spurs.
Yeah, same amount of points. 6 points behind Spurs. Yeah,
They'll just be coasting to the end of the
season.
season.
They're in a healthy position.
They've picked up 20 points in the Premier League since the World Cup, and only Man United have got more in that time. 23.
How many points have they got in total?
39.
Look,
But I'm saying since the World Cup, they're second place in the league. If the league started after the World Cup, they're second place in the league. United first, Fulham second. Damn.
Say that again one more time. Who first?
Fulham have picked up 20 points in the Premier League since the World Cup, with only Manchester United getting more in that time.
Yeah, man. Man United went from third to third.
Yeah.
They went from third to third.
Wow. For next year, that's all I'm gonna say. Damn. This year it's you guys, but next year, give me Big Vic, give me a goalkeeper, give me another midfielder.
Damn,
you need to replace Varane as well, man.
Whoa,
Varane's playing.
You gotta stop this, bro.
Varane, no.
You're still on this Varane thing.
Been on it. I haven't jumped off. I'm still on it.
You're a clown. You're a fool.
Bro, when I watch him, he scares me, man.
No, he doesn't, bro.
Defensively, he's very good.
Let me tell you the problem with fans like Stars, bro.
Going forward, no way.
Let me tell you, he's not a striker, bro. Let me tell you the problem
going forward. No way,
he's a guy forward for a center back. Let me tell you the problem with fans like Stars, bro. I'll tell you the problem with fans like Stars, the problem with fans like Abs Busquets. They believe the game can only be played one way, and my defenders need to be line-splitting defenders who carried out the back. And
that's why I need that.
That's not all the game is, bro. We're probably one of the best defensive teams in the league, and it's largely down to him, bro. I know Leeds gets all the credit.
When you're playing the deepest line, you got to do stuff like that, man. What else you got to do, man?
Oh my god, bro. Are we getting results or not?
I'm happy for you guys. You guys are winning cups.
You should be happy for Rafa.
Huh?
You should be happy for Rafa.
No.
This guy's a bum.
He's a bum. He's a bum, man.
This guy is crazy, bro.
He's a good player. I was about to compliment. I was about to say like you remind me of him on the pitch. I was gonna say you remind me.
You know, I find that very.
Wait, what do you say? What do you say?
I was gonna say Stars plays like him.
No, well, I find that very offensive. I don't want to.
For Rafa,
it's a compliment.
That is one of the highest compliments.
No.
You just said you'd play like a 4-time Champions League winner, World Cup winner, and you said no.
You did do that for United, though.
Of your generation.
He's a Carabao Cup winner. He's a champion, just like me.
Man, not Varane, man. Not Varane, man. No.
Anyways, how would you get the Varane? We're talking about Wolves.
Yeah, Fulham versus Wolves.
Martinez, though, he's very good, man. I really like.
It's like Vidic and Rio, bro. You gotta enjoy them both.
They're spying right now. That triangle.
I really like.
Varane, Martinez, Casemiro. That triangle there is
it the best spine in the league?
It's worked very well for them. I respect it.
Hey, don't do no crazy eyes, man. But back to Fulham versus Wolves. Obviously, like I said, Fulham picked up 20 points in the Premier League since the World Cup, which is phenomenal. Paolini, a big shout out to him. First player in top 5 leagues this season to get 100 plus successful tackles.
think he has the most in the league by like 40.
Yeah,
he's like a purebred D.
he's a tackler.
Old-fashioned.
He is a tackler.
Yeah.
You know,
He's a DFD.
No
tackling is
defense first defensive midfielder.
tackling is an art,
Yeah.
He's almost what.
and he is a master of the art.
Do you remember what Ndidi used to be
What
like?
is it? Defense.
What did you say?
DFD, defense first, DM. That's what it is, bro. This you got
The
some DM.
DFDM.
You guys
Not
like
DFD.
no DFD.
Oh yeah, that was like because Mason Mount was like a defensive attacking
DFD. Does that sound
midfielder.
good to you?
That sounds better than DFD.
No, I don't, bro. Come on, don't do that. DFD. Jorginho ain't a DFD. What's his name? Paina is DFD.
Because Mount in the World Cup was a DAM.
Defensive attacking midfielder.
That's what it was in the World Cup. Yeah, it was a defensive attacking
Never want to
midfielder.
be a defensive attacking.
that's
anything.
crazy. Who was a defensive? Who else was one of those two? Oscar was a DAM, bro.
Yeah.
Defensive attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
For Mourinho, 40 Oscar
Oh.
for Chelsea. He turned him into
Don't do that.
he was
Don't
a
do that.
defense under.
Oscar was a baller.
No, before Mourinho.
Oscar
Mourinho
was-
turned him into his like first line
Even
of pressing.
when
bro.
Mourinho was there, he was hitting left foot slammers outside of the box.
Don't do that.
Don't
bro.
do that.
Nah, no, you don't do that. You don't do that.
Look,
You don't do that.
Ask
So
him,
you don't
ask,
fight.
ask him about Diego. He'll praise him to the high hill.
Diego!
But Oscar, he'll shit.
My
No,
dog.
I'm not having this. I'm not having this.
Oscar's nice. Then Jose turned him into his little dog, bro. He turned him into his watchdog.
Back to this game, Fulham Wolves.
Gotta give props.
Talking about Oscar, we talked about Diego, we talked about Varane.
Anything but Fulham Wolves. I'm like, what can I say? Oh,
He needs the correspondence, that's what we need, man.
Man of Solomon, great goal for
Yeah,
him.
he's in good form.
Back to back,
well played,
back to
man.
back games
Well
now.
played, bro.
Back to
Solomon.
back
What,
to back games.
3-3 now.
Yeah.
Or
Is it
4-4?
Good.
3? I thought it was 2 and 2. What is it?
3-3 in it. I think it's 3-3.
Well, I don't know, but he's in form.
What are you on
That's
the
what I know.
source,
That's that research team. But regardless, he's on loan, right?
From
Yeah.
He's on loan. I remember he had a big injury at the start. Was out for a while.
I
Comes back.
don't know. I didn't really know much about it. I just seen him now scoring goals.
22, like he was a bright spot. For
He is on loan from
23.
Shakhtar Donetsk,
he
obviously.
was a
That's
bright
what I'm
spot
telling
for
you
Shakhtar.
about. That's what I'm telling you about Marco Silva. He is making like these players that really you don't really know about, or players that in the past have kind of like failed to flatter in terms of AP. Andres Pereira, I'm calling AP. Andres Pereira.
Hey,
Yeah, everyone's got Nicholas.
AP,
And then-
AP.
And the whole everyone's going for me. Come on, man.
That is not.
Andreas Pereira, Andrea Pirlo. No, but he's really making like miracles of guys that honestly are not at the level where they should
Even
be playing
Tottenham
at.
legend,
Willian,
Carlos
yeah.
Vinicius.
Yeah, Vinicius too. Willian is playing out of his skin.
Bern Leno.
There you go. I see Kurzawa coming out the
Full
bench for
to
Fulham.
everyone. They're leaving it so everyone, man.
Hey, William.
Cedric Suarez.
Thanks.
Bro.
So if Marco Silva for me, I keep saying it every podcast I'm on. He's doing one of the most underrated coaching jobs in the Prem this year.
Oh, facts. They just came up in the 6th.
You know, I wouldn't want to be the person to give the award for Manager of the Year. About 6-7 in there.
No, it's Arteta though. Hey, let's be real. It is Arteta.
It is.
Yeah.
What if we win the league?
Now, even if you don't,
win
even
the
if you
league,
don't,
I
you win the
think
league.
it'll be
Even
us.
if you don't, it's
Three manager of the month.
is it?
Nah, for me,
I don't
yes.
think so,
Because
you know.
this
think
Arsenal
so.
team for me in terms of individual quality, I said it
don't
last time.
think so.
I don't think is title caliber. I
It's
think
overachieving.
and I think largely
Big
because of his
time, but
system, his
title,
tactics.
I give it to him. If not,
Right.
I'm limited.
And who are you giving it to?
No, but you've got yourself in that position
Bro.
now, and then if you don't
Sure,
win the
but
title-
you have to look at it from the start of the season. No one would have ever expected Arsenal to be
That's
leading
true.
the title race for 90%
We
of the
haven't finished in
season.
the top 4 for like 5 years.
Yeah, Arteta for me is manager of the season for
I don't know
sure.
about that one.
Who would it be if you don't give it to Arteta? If he doesn't win the league?
Stellini. 100%
I'm willing to. I agree. You sold me. Stellini. I knew I'd get you there.
Yeah, you knew that's the only answer you could have said.
Yeah.
The only answer.
He has steadied the ship.
That's the only answer.
Spurs so anti-Conte is
Spurs.
nasty.
Put the contract on the table. Give him whatever he wants. Stellini's at the wheel, man. Tottenham Hotspur are back, bro.
Hey, there we go. And on that note, that is the end of the PO roundup. Let us know in the comments if there's things you think we forgot about, things we need to mention. And like I said, if you're only part of the research team, hit up Perceive. Tell him what team you support and send him some notes. It doesn't have to be much. It could be a few pointers. It could be one line. Maybe there's one thing you want us to mention specifically. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it for support. And we're back very soon.